and it's earlier than normal. I don't know what normal is right now, and
None of
I
us know.
just got to I just got to pop up on my screen. Oh, my virus protection has ended. Oh no,
Oh no, you're prone to virus.
I am. Uh, there we go. Finally got it. Finally got it taken off. But Tim, it's been a couple weeks, and first off, a very happy Father's Day to you.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Yeah. What's new in your world? I think it's been 2 weeks since our last show. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Um, I saw Disclosure Day, that new Spielberg movie.
How'd
Bit
that go?
bit shaky. It was fine. It was 2.5 hours. I was never bored, but also at the end, I was like, well, okay, that was
That was
something.
a movie.
That was a thing to do. Um, but otherwise, we have a new NBA champion.
we
We're
do.
going to
We
be
do.
discussing that.
Uh huh.
You were in New York for that.
Yeah. So every year, every summer, Jen and the family try to put together a trip where they see a lot of Broadway shows, and then we try to do some stuff with the kids that kind of blend. Like, so the kids like Broadway shows, they do, but then they want to go to the Candy Factory too.
Sure.
So Jen went to see. We went with Jen, her mom, her sister, one of our nieces, Derek and Maria. I got to see three shows. I went to see the new Titanic, which I don't know if you heard much about. It is a parody spoof, not of the tragedy of the Titanic, but of the tragedy of the Titanic movie.
Right.
It's told by Celine Dion, which
Okay.
and because she was there, she was on the Titanic as
Sure.
the show goes. Plus, Jim Parsons plays the mother of Rose from the movie, so it's like the movie characters on stage. It
Right.
was it was very funny. It
I
was
saw
very
him.
funny.
I saw him promoting it. He might have been on Seth Meyers like maybe 6 weeks or 2 months ago.
Yeah,
Because I saw him talking about performing in drag.
and yeah, he goes all out, man, and he gets the biggest pop from the crowd because
Sure.
obviously he's a big name. But I don't think he stole the show. I don't know if you have any plans of seeing it, but I will tell you if you ever see videos of the character called the Iceberg Bitch, that was something. I can tell you the character playing the iceberg was, I think, the actor's from London, or definitely from like Britain, England, the United Kingdom, somewhere along those lines.
Yeah.
Absolutely hilarious. He was amazing.
I want to see the production of Rocky Horror that they're doing at the old Studio 54.
Yeah, you said you were thinking about doing that,
Yeah,
and I
me.
told you let them know that you're a first timer.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens, but it's not family friendly. I know that.
Yeah, me and my friend have been talking about going to see it. I know like Rachel Dratch is in that production.
Oh, cool.
Juliette Lewis, Stephanie Shu, who was in Everything Everywhere All at Once. So it's a pretty good cast. And
The other show I saw, and I don't know how long it's there, was the Stranger Things musical.
yeah,
Amazing special effects, like absolutely. Jen's been doing theater for a long time, and she does magic on her stage. So she kind of has like a deeper insight on maybe how some stuff is done.
yeah,
We both looked at each other. The one scene where I'll spoil this for you. The one character falls off a scaffolding, like, and the scaffolding on stage is a solid, I don't know, 20 feet in the air. So
right.
they're falling down to the stage in slow motion.
Wow.
I mean, it's David Blaine level magic, but it's pretty friggin' cool magic.
Do they do it with like strobe lights or something?
No, no, it's just the character falling. I'm,
Wow.
I'm sure there's a wire or there's something that does it, obviously. But I mean, they do lighting and a lot of dry ice. Like, I felt bad for the audience members, and like the first three rows were like engulfed. It was wild.
Like a Gallagher
Um,
show.
yeah, except the dry ice. Like, I don't know how it affects your vision. You're not getting a watermelon seed to the face. And then the other show, we took the kids to see Wicked, and Maria liked it. Derek liked it. Jen and I had seen it, but I just think it was the third time I've seen it. And I've told you, at some point when you get to see it, I'll put somebody on the list. Um, what's cool about that is where we were sitting. You again more dry ice effects. The conductor is right off the stage, like down in a pit area. Like this much of his head is sticking out, so you can see him,
Yeah.
and he's engulfed. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this guy's just going. He doesn't even care that he can't see. He's doing his thing because it's probably all muscle memory by then.
Right.
But we had really good seats, and the kids enjoyed it. So I Jen went to see Chess, which I think is about chess, and her
If
mother
not
went to
the
see.
misleading title.
Correct, yeah. Her mother went to see Schmigadoon, which was an Apple TV show that got canceled, and then they're on Broadway.
I was just reading a review of that like a glowing review.
Yeah, they enjoyed it. They went to see Ragtime, which
Great book.
is a lot. The material is a lot deeper and heavier than the show title might. I thought it was like a dancey show. No, no, no. It's very serious.
Yeah, the number that I saw, because I love the Thanksgiving Day, like the Macy's parade, and a lot
Hmm.
of times that they have casts
Yeah,
who do like whatever show stopping, and I saw the cast of Ragtime do a song that felt like it was straight out of Les Mis.
yeah.
Like
Oh no,
it was very
so
dramatic, and
when
like
Jen's putting her list of shows together, especially for Derek, she considers how much Broadway he can handle. And the day they saw, I think he saw two shows one day, but then like the day he saw Ragtime, that was it. She's like, oh, he's just gonna have that music in his head, and let's not overload him with something else. I thought they might have seen one other thing, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it was a solid trip. We were there 4 days, and um, the other show I took Derek to see a show this week. Um, I didn't take this with me because I didn't need to. I got my sword. This is like, and
did
here
you
I'll.
did you like drill a hole in it?
Did I drill a hole in it?
Yeah, that
Why
you
would
can
I do
drink
that?
soda out of it.
Oh no, no, no! I don't know if you can hear it. It
Yeah.
vibrates too, but I just turn it off because I'm gonna I'm gonna hang it. I'm gonna get like two hooks and like just hang it on the wall. Now that I've displayed it for the world on the show. Uh, he liked it was neat. Is he asked me to go see it, and I had forgotten that when he was like 5 or 6 years old, I would put on the DVDs and I gave him some of the old toys to play with.
Yeah.
So I mean, he wasn't as big into it as we were, but um, he asked to see it. I liked it. It was a good time around the second time around, and I kind of peeked over to see him, and he was smiling. So he really liked the music, I think, because like he wanted to listen to the soundtrack on the way home.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
Sad to report that it is still doing very poorly at the box
Yeah,
office.
but I want to see the merchandise sales because like that right there, and I've seen there was a toy store. I can't think of the name of it, but it had an entire like section dedicated to Masters of the Universe action figures, uh, vehicles, a Castle Grayskull, stuff like that.
Is it is it
That's where the
marketed to
money's going to get
guys?
made.
Is it marketed to guys like us that they're trying to sell like based on nostalgia, or are they trying to like get inroads with like modern kids?
Do modern kids, and I'm when I say modern kids, I'll say 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8-year-olds. Do they play with toys?
Yeah.
Derek didn't. Amazingly, Derek, like we tried to get him into action figures. He liked puzzles. He liked Lego. He wasn't a when he got old, like when he got to be like 10 or 11, he actually asked for like these Egyptian action figures that looked like a Timu version of like maybe what Silverhawks would have been or
Yeah.
like GI Joe, but he never really got into action figures. I don't know, do is that a thing for kids today?
I don't know. My kids didn't really get into action figures that much. They were very into cars and trucks.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, Derek didn't do cars. He
Legos are a
had
hit.
some, but that wasn't a thing.
Legos are a hit with every kid. And
Sure.
then like the Thomas the Train stuff was big.
Yeah, so I mean, there's enough people like you and me with disposable money who are like longing for the good old days of like, oh yeah, I found like the last show we did, I pulled out some of the toys I had in my garage that my parents saved for me, and I have He-Man and Battle Cat up on the shelf, and Skeletor and Panther up on the shelf, just to look at, and I'll hang the sword up. But there are collectors that have like huge shelves to so I think they're probably marketing to us. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what their merchandise sales are,
I,
if they can break it down demographically, like where it's going.
I,
Because
I,
I also saw that YouTube was putting out a 20 episode short, like 4 minute videos that introduce characters, and that's geared towards kids. I mean, let's get on
right.
the internet and find video services that these kids are on to try to get them in. But then your animation versus live action,
I
I don't
still
know.
I still think, when the movie that preceded it, in terms of toy movies, was Barbie, which was the number one movie of, 2023. And you have the Super Mario movie for the 80s nostalgias making $1 billion.
That was a great movie.
I just don't know that we should hold our breath if there's going to be a He-Man sequel or a
I'm
She.
holding my breath. I'm
Well,
I'm optimistic
I'll
that
visit you in the hospital.
I am
You're going to pass
optimistic
out.
that we will see a Masters of the Universe sequel before we possibly see a New York championship again. But as as we kind of segue into the actual show here, the
Oh,
NBA
right, of
Finals are in the
course.
books.
I knew we were here to talk about something.
The NBA Finals in the books, and it was a series that defied the odds on multiple levels. New York closing things out in a way that showed just how dominant they could be when they clicked on all cylinders. But I think we can look at the Knicks in this year's finals like the New York Buick LeSabres, meaning they didn't start off really well, but once they got going, they could cook. So, Tim, from your perspective, from an outsider perspective, what did you see about this series? What stood out to you, and why are the Knicks holding that trophy right now?
I think it was just glaring how much the Spurs were outcoached, and just how the Spurs gave games away. I mean, you look at game two where Wembanyama has that terrible turnover where he's going to throw it to Stephon Castle, and it ends up a Brunson steal. Obviously, you look at the 29-point game four comeback. I mean, the Spurs had late leads in all five games, and yet almost got swept.
The
They went.
Spurs led 72% of the entire series, and not like 1 or 2 points. They had, like you said, they had double-digit leads in every first quarter.
Yeah.
And game five, I actually got on the Discord of my Dice Baseball League. There's a couple Knicks fans there. And after the first quarter, they were down in game five. What were they down, like 12 or 14? I actually wrote, well, we got them right where we want them now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot was made about the Spurs, and I know Michael Wilbon was sort of beating the drum of the theme of NBA history being you need to be humbled first by the experience of losing either after a deep playoff run or losing in the finals. And I think so many people were quick to coronate Victor Wembanyama that we saw that no, this does fit with the theme of NBA history, where just like Isaiah had to lose to the Celtics, and then Jordan had to lose to Isaiah, and Victor Wembanyama, the same way that LeBron lost to the Spurs, his first trip to the finals. Very very few players in their first, second, or third year lead a team. It's Kareem, it's Duncan, and it's Dwayne Wade.
The short
That's the
list.
list. So Wembanyama will have to wait, and the Knicks become one of the better sports stories of the decade.
So before I get to the Knicks, back to the Spurs. We talked about this before Game 7 of the Oklahoma City series, and I said like that felt like the de facto finals. So obviously the Knicks were going to win. It kind of felt like the 2003 American League Championship Series, and then who are the Marlins? Like how much of the Spurs collapse feels like a bad word, but how much of the collapse was maybe a little bit of overconfidence after taking out the defending champs and the defending MVP?
I don't even know if it's overconfidence so much as it was, the Western Conference Final provided too much catharsis for the Spurs that they were just like emotionally spent after going 7 games with their biggest rival and beating their biggest rival. So there
They
might have been a
talked about
little.
fatigue being a thing, like an actual like physical fatigue. How about that?
Well, and there were certainly times where Victor Wembanyama late in games looked like he was dragging a little bit. And Josh Hart has said that the Knicks felt when they saw the way the Spurs were crying and celebrating and treating that Western Conference win like a championship. Josh Hart's quote was that they viewed the Spurs as food. And there very well could be something to that the Spurs had viewed the Thunder as being in their conference and being the defending champion as the team to get past, and when they got past them, they just didn't have anything left emotionally and physically for the Knicks.
I
And
could see emotionally where I start to lose concepts of you know how physical NBA basketball really is. Game 5 with 5 minutes left, and Wembanyama's on the bench to try to get a blow because he's tired. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Dude's 22 years old. I've been 22 years old. I know what it feels like. It's been a while, but like when I woke up today, that's kind of what they kind of passed Wembanyama feeling like this is a world class athlete. I mean, I'm not even sure he's in his prime yet. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like,
you
how
can't
can
have
you be
these.
tired with 5 minutes left of what turned out to be the final game?
Yeah, they had all these stories in the playoffs about how he was training with monks like Uma Thurman and Kill Bill. You can't talk
Do some
about all
cardio,
that.
kid.
Yeah, right. Put the nunchucks down and go run some suicides. Uh,
Seriously. I, last thing on the Spurs then. So we talked about Wembanyama. So I don't believe I've ever seen the heel turn as quickly as this. Like I was pulling for him against the Thunder, because I had started to like my eyes got opened to the Floppy McFloppenstein. Like I don't necessarily want kids on the playground to be like I'm going to shoot a jumper and then fall down. But then even if they weren't playing the Knicks, even if they weren't playing a team that I root for, like I thought I could like Wembanyama, but oh my gosh, he came off as so unlikable in this series between the fouls that were called and the fouls that weren't. And you had talked about one of the referees being Mr. Extender or Mr.
yeah,
I
Scott
think they
Foster.
protected the heck out of him because I think the NBA thought they needed him to not get that second technical or the second flagrant two or whatever was going to result in a suspension for him. But I think he earned it like 2 or 3 times that just
Well,
weren't called.
in Game 5, he very clearly had his foot in Brunson's landing zone, which should have been upgraded to a flagrant and would have meant he would have missed a Game 6 that didn't happen. Let alone the little business to Brunson's head.
Or the Pedro Don Zimmer throwdown.
Yeah,
Like,
I look. I like Victor Wembanyama a lot, and I don't know why we feel like we need superstars to be soft and cuddly. You know,
I mean, there's soft and
if the
cuddly, and then there's
look, if the league's protecting him, that's not on Wembanyama. And did he play a little dirty at times? Yeah. I mean, we have an elbow in the Minnesota series that says yes, he did. Um, he probably should have been suspended for that one. Wasn't even fined. But I'd rather see something like that, a superstar who plays with a little, like he's got a pebble in his shoe, rather than someone who's just, nicey nice, and you know, I don't need that.
I can get down with that. That's fine. But it's frustrating to watch, just
It
from a fan of the other team, who
it's
the beneficiary of some of those hacks. But I'll tell you what, who wasn't bothered by any of it, amazingly. Here's a guy who, if when you look back at what all the media guys were saying when Jalen Brunson signed in New York, you would think they spent $100 million on you or me. And this guy quietly comes in, does his thing, and I'm not even sure I was all that excited when they signed him, because this was back when they were clearing out money. They really thought they could get Kevin Durant. That's like, it was a 2019. I think they went after him, and then he said no, and they made the trade Randall for Towns, and they rebuilt this roster. It took a while for it to click. Um, Jalen Brunson really just quietly went about his job, did his thing, got back up in Wemby's face when he threw him down, but he controlled himself and didn't get suspended himself. Um, what can you say about Jalen Brunson as a player, as a leader, and as a guy who, I don't care if they're down 29, he just never quit.
I mean, you don't see this that often, that you see a small guard who's, option 1A on a team that wins a title. We've only seen two other players do that. Iverson didn't do it. Steve Nash didn't do it. Stockton wasn't option 1A, but, he didn't do it. Jason Kidd couldn't do it. The list of guards 6'3" and under who were option 1A on a championship team, it's Isaiah Thomas, it's Steph Curry, it's Jalen Brunson. That's it. End of list. So, Brunson's the kind of guy who is perpetually overlooked.
And still is now. Like after the parade, people are like, "Well, where do you put him? Where do you put him?" And I think I saw a video, somebody had him at like 11 in the league. I'm like, wow, that's
And it's funny because
like, he might not be top 5, but like he's got to be in the top 10, right?
you would think. Well, it's funny. It goes both ways. Where you have some people who are like, all right, let's not get too carried away. Like, he's still 6'2", he still has these limitations or whatever. And then there are people who take it the other way, where there was a lot made about Bill Simmons saying that he would rank Jalen Brunson in the top 40 all time in NBA history among best players ever.
I give him time, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not now, but
One week removed from the title might be too hard to write the legacy.
yeah, that's fair.
But we can agree that, look, Dallas had Luka and they had Brunson in the same backcourt, and here we are in the year of our Lord 2026, and neither one is wearing a Mavericks jersey.
But Cooper Flag is, and the the future is bright in Dallas, I guess. Um, so the one thing that I guess interested me, like, after the finals, and like you just said, Bill Simmons put him in the top 40 of all time. Where would this put Jalen Brunson right now in the world of all-time New York Knicks? So does he make the Mount Rushmore, whatever, in the world of all-time Knicks? And I don't think this makes him the best Knick of all time, but I
He's only
think
been
there's
he's
a
only
there's a
been a
good argument for putting him on the mountain.
so he in my mind, he's certainly on the Mount Rushmore of Knicks. He has to be, because he was the guy on the team that finally ended the streak of no titles for the Knicks. He has to be on the Mount Rushmore, even though he's only been there 4 years. If I'm talking a Knicks Mount Rushmore, it's Ewing, it's Brunson, it's Reed, and I put Walt Frazier up there just
That's
because
I'm thinking Clyde too. So
what did Carmelo do except score a lot of points?
he scored a lot of points. Um, For me, Carmelo's up there with Dave DeBuscher. Uh, John
Bernard,
Starks, believe it or not.
Bernard
I,
King.
yeah. So, and I wanted to get a sense of, what. Well, let's do this exercise here. I sent you a text a while back, and I said I'd like you to examine player A and player B, and I asked you which player would you have taken? Which player do you want?
You reminded me 3 times to look at
I
this.
did.
And now I have my glasses on and the numbers are too small for me to see.
Okay. Well, so player A is hitting 332, player B is hitting 323.
Okay.
Player A has 121 home runs, player B has 166.
Okay.
Player A 553 RBI, player B 735 RBI.
Okay.
Player A 806 runs, player B 643 runs.
Okay.
Player A has 167 stolen bases, player B has 14. 7 All-Stars for player A, 6 All-Stars for player B. 3 gold gloves for player A, 6 gold gloves for player B.
Okay.
Both of them with 3 silver sluggers. And the highest MVP for each player. Player B won an MVP, player A finished second.
Just the player B for
So
me.
you're going to go with player B. If I were to tell you that player A was Derek Jeter and player B is Don Mattingly. Now, this was a 7-year stretch because obviously now, if you were to compare Jalen Brunson to Patrick Ewing, Patrick Ewing has all kinds of length and just he's number one in every category because he's played there. What was it, 15 years?
Yeah,
And you
85
said
to
Jalen
2000
Brunson's been there
easily.
for 4. So I took a 7-year stretch of how great Mattingly was, how great Jeter was. Now, with all the years I took, I think Jeter has 4 rings compared to Don's 0. So that's where the Jalen Brunson ending a 53-year drought, I can understand where people are going to say he's the best Nick of all time. I'm not there. If he gets a second, then he ties Reed and Frazier and those guys, and then he's in the discussion if he stays long enough to maybe capitulate some numbers. But I have a hard time saying anybody is better than Ewing just based on longevity. And if you look at just a 7-year, if you look at 4 years of Patrick Ewing versus 4 years of Jalen Brunson, then yeah, the ring doesn't mean as much. I don't think that's where this little graphic came in. I don't even know if that makes sense.
I think you have to look at the situations that they entered into because Ewing was a number 1 pick where the Knicks were garbage.
Yeah.
And he played through the Patino years and the Stu Jackson years. And, like they built.
Jalen Brunson showed up. The Knicks weren't much better.
They weren't terrible though.
They weren't number 1 pick bad, but they weren't good.
I mean, 4 years ago they were still like on the rise at the very least. In the East where it's easier to rise because there's less quality depth. But the Knicks were trash in '85 when Ewing got there. And, it took them 7 or 8 years until Pat Riley has them in a place where they're getting to the Eastern Conference Finals and running into those,
You're running into the
Bulls.
Jordan Bulls. What can you do?
But still, Ewing takes them to 2 finals.
And there are a couple that they're right there with Houston. Like
Yeah.
San Antonio, I think, overmatched them.
Well, right. They were an 8 seed playing a San Antonio team that was building a dynasty around Tim.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that's stopping us from putting Brunson 1 right now is the shortness of his tenure. Yeah. If he stays in New York and he has I think Carmelo is there 7 years. If Brunson's there 7, 8, 9 years, even if he doesn't get to another finals, but he has some playoff runs, he's a top 5 in the MVP. And he has this ring, I think you'd have to say he's the best Nick of all time. If he gets
what's surprising to me?
What's that?
Now, this is just stuff that I have written down here. Jalen Brunson has scored 7,462 points in New York. He has 10,748 for his career. But all right, 7,462 in New York. That's only 3,000 points less than Carmelo Anthony in 4 fewer seasons.
And that's all Carmelo did. He didn't
Yeah,
give you defense. He wasn't like any sort of elite rebounder. He wasn't a facilitator. Like first, second, and third, Carmelo was a scorer. Like Brunson gives you, decent defense. He does, set up teammates.
yeah.
Um, I think if certainly if Brunson wins a second title, he's number one.
That,
That would clinch it. I think even if he goes back to another finals, that might get him there.
well, let's talk about that. What's it going to take for New York to get into the finals again? Let's talk about the off season and where the big names are going. Right now, I think all eyes before the draft are on Milwaukee, where Giannis Antetokounmpo will end up, and I've seen anywhere from Miami to I think I only saw Miami with Giannis.
Boston's
Oh, I did see a trade for Boston where Boston sent somebody to Atlanta, and it was a three-way deal.
the most common scenario that's floated is Boston would have to give up Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown. And as a Celtic fan, how fast would you do that?
I have questions about
Giannis's health.
Yeah, I mean, look at Garnett when he came to Boston. He had one healthy year. He gets injured in 2009, and then
It gets you a ring though.
right. I mean, I don't. How many games has Giannis played? Per season the last 2 or 3 years. Like he's missing long stretches of time. He's already 32.
That is a great question for our producer who's on it right now.
I mean, he's been injured very often. He hasn't done anything meaningful since they win the 21 title. He hasn't made a run, done anything meaningful in May or June since then.
Last year, so this current season, 25-26 season, he started 36 games. Last year, he started 67. The year before that, 73. The year before that, 63. And I honestly don't know. They're not marked as whether it's injury or load management. I mean, at 67 games feels like a little bit of half and half. He might have been injured for 10, might have been load managing for 10. But
And
the big injury this year, I completely understand your reluctance. I do.
there are whispers that he has kind of become a bit of a problem in the locker room because there were reports that he butted heads with Doc Rivers, that he wouldn't show up to team meetings. He was late or non-existent for team meetings. It really seems like he won that ring and kind of ran the show in Milwaukee.
Is that maybe his way of saying he wants out? Like if he found a stable organization like Boston, would that change things for him?
Milwaukee was a stable situation to the point that they traded to get Damian Lillard for him, 3 years ago. If anything, that kind of shows how fickle Giannis can be and maybe chasing a second ring.
Where do you think he ends up?
I think the most likely destination is Boston. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up in Miami. I would also say there's like a 10 to 15% chance that he stays in Milwaukee. These deals fall through.
Okay, that's fair. Speaking of staying put, the other big name that's out there in terms of free agents, this happens to be a 41-year-old who is the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. LeBron James has. We talked about his final destination. That sounds bad. His
It
Where he
makes him
ends up
sound
for
like he's driving behind a truck carrying logs in the bed.
yeah, is where he plays next year, because I think we're both under the assumption that he's not going to just suddenly retire in July. So where do you think LeBron ends up next year?
Um, you know, everyone's said that Cleveland seems like the most common sense destination for him. Go back where it began, and there's certainly talent there to maybe make a run in the East. Uh, you know, I'd be surprised if he ends up back with the Lakers, to be honest. Uh,
I think he's going to have to take a discount somewhere. Um, I don't know how much his family comes into play. Like, he's playing with his son right now in LA. He's got his production company in LA. Um, he's already done the return to Cleveland. He left to Miami and then he came back. How many times can you go home and make it a story? I think if he wants to be competitive, Cleveland makes a whole lot of sense. Obviously, they're one of the top teams in the East. Does he put them over the top and make them Eastern contenders? I don't think he takes them down,
I
depending on what they have to do financially to bring him in.
I think they become the Lakers East. I think
That's fair.
you know, like, is Donovan Mitchell better than
Har-
Luca? No.
Harden is his Luca.
Is Harden better than Austin Reeves at this point in his career? No.
Certainly not in the playoffs.
Yeah. Cleveland makes the most sense. I'm not sure where else LeBron, would even necessarily want to go. Like, he's not going to go play in Memphis. He's
Sure.
not going to go play in Washington or Utah. There's only
Well,
about 4 or 5 realistic destinations for him, and Cleveland's just the one that makes the most sense. And staying in LA, when you bring in the other non-basketball concerns, only LeBron can say how important that stuff is to him.
you mentioned Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is uh, rumored, which means he's going to decline his player option tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. He just finished the year with 23 points a game, a career best, and he wants a max contract. So the Lakers are going to have to consider whether they want to do that for him. There's other big names that potentially can be free agents. Jalen Duran in Detroit. Trey Young is another big name. Um, and the other name I've written down, James Harden, actually has a player option that he may exercise as well in Cleveland. So LeBron to Cleveland might do some weird stuff there as well. Um, so yeah, well, what other off-season stuff NBA wise am I missing?
I mean, the Giannis thing is obviously the biggest chip, and if anything's going to happen with Giannis, it's going to happen before the first pick is announced on Tuesday, I think. I
So
don't think any Giannis trade is going to involve a selected player. There will be draft picks involved, but they aren't going to trade the rights to someone who's been picked Tuesday.
okay,
I think teams are going to want to know their financial situation if they bring in Giannis before the draft starts.
fair enough. Fair enough. Um, that's one of those we will see. We'll figure it out. Um, I'm going to switch up a little bit here and NFL news. You sent me this, and I had kind of followed this a little bit, but oh my, oh my gosh, the Brendan Sorsby situation. This week he applied for the NFL supplemental draft. So I don't know where you start with this. Tell us all about the whole Sorsby situation from college.
Well, he's gambling on games that he's involved in, which is the cardinal sin of sports. Like, when you get right to the root of the integrity of sports, when you have an extra financial interest other than your salary in the outcome of the game, or in the outcome of certain aspects of the game, that I mean, that's why Pete Rose isn't in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's the cardinal sin. That's why Joe Jackson couldn't afford shoes. um, you know, so he became radioactive for college sports, and he was obviously a lightning rod of controversy when he transferred to Texas Tech. And that was going to be a circus if he stays there, for the entire season. Instead, he avoids that controversy and he applies to uh, for the supplemental draft, which they don't have every year. It's only in cases like I would say this case, the details of it are different, but the circumstances are similar to Terrell Pryor when
Yeah.
he was
So
shrouded in a little controversy and then he went the supplemental draft route.
let's explain a little bit what the supplemental draft is. So it would take place every spring. Or no, the regular draft is in the spring. The supplemental would be somewhere in the summer, usually before training camp in July, and it's activated if there's eligible players who've been approved by the NFL who were not in the regular draft.
Right.
Unlike the traditional draft where you have a clock, this is like a silent auction where a team or teams will submit a bid which basically says this is the round I'm willing to draft this player. So if Tim, you are the Eagles and I am the Bears, if I say I'm willing to give a third round pick and you say you're willing to give a fourth round pick, I win. If we both say we're willing to give a fifth round pick and nobody else, like we don't want them, then they go to teams with six or fewer wins, non-playoff teams, playoff teams. So there's a tier system. I don't know if it's the same as record head to head. If it's the Eagles and Bears, they probably go head to record and it's fine. And if you win the right to supplementally draft that player, the next year's NFL draft, you lose that round. So if someone looks at Brendan Sorsby and says, here is a guy who, based on the film we saw at Texas Tech or Cincinnati, we think he might be a first round pick. And if you look at what happened with Grant Nessmeyer and Drew Aller, and they might have been top 3 picks, and then they played a season out, and we saw what happened to them. Maybe if I'm a team like Miami or Arizona or Cleveland, giving up a third round pick. All right, I'll give up a third round pick maybe to get this guy.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. There you go. A third or a fourth round pick might be not a stretch for this guy. But what you just said, though, how many headaches do you want to bring in along with him? Terrell Pryor was suspended based on his situation.
And
However, if
Sorsby
you
might
look
be
at
facing that as well.
there was a wide receiver drafted in 2023 by New England, Kayshon Boutte. After his rookie year, he came out and said he had a severe gambling addiction when he was at LSU. He placed 9,000 bets, including on LSU. I don't think he was betting against them, though. The NFL didn't take any disciplinary action because that information came out post-draft, or was it because he was a Patriot? I don't know.
Well, and so that raises a couple questions. First, what discipline could Sorsby be facing if he does get drafted? What's that going to mean for the team that drafts him? Another question is he has a pro day now scheduled where teams are going to get a chance to actually evaluate where he is and where he might slot in terms of would he have been a first round guy? Would he have been a second round guy? Is he a second or third day guy?
Sure.
Um,
That's July 10th, by the way.
I think the other thing that this maybe brings to light is what we're seeing in terms of players who have no control over the gambling they're doing on the sport that they play or the games that they play in. I think we have no idea how extensive it actually is.
You know what? The rabbit hole probably goes pretty deep.
If we have a player like you said, who Boutte says that he's betting on 9,000, like how common is that? And does the NFL want to pull that loose thread to see,
Huh.
how extensive that is?
And here's the thing: just like anything else in the world, These things have made things easier, right? When I was an intern at WNEP, the sports director, he liked to he liked to gamble, and I remember getting on. It was Bowman's. It was a website in Europe, because this was before gambling was super legal all
Yeah.
across the continental 48. And he's like, "Who do you like today in the Yankee Royal game?" And I'm like, I don't know who's pitching. And I'd make little bets for him. And I did pretty well. I did pretty well. It didn't hurt that the Yankees were good, and I told him to bet on the Yankees a lot. But still, it was harder to do. You needed a credit card. You needed access to offshore betting. Now I can, if we timed me right now, I don't have a DraftKings account. How long would it take me to set up a DraftKings account and make my first bet? I bet I could do it in 10 minutes.
Oh, you could do it in under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You
They've
would
made it
just have to
so
sign up,
easy.
give your banking information or like a debit card, and then you're
Off
ready
you
to
go.
go.
And these kids who, it's a rush. There's a dopamine rush to winning your first bet. I mean,
Yeah.
there is. At my school, I won my March Madness thing. And the principal made a pretty big deal of it because I did really well. Like, I was in the top 0.4% of all the brackets in the world. Like, yeah, and that felt good. But I don't chase that feeling. There's people that, the hyper competitive people that, you know, getting that pass deflected or getting that interception or getting a pancake block, it's not enough.
Well,
And I don't understand that, because that's not my personality. But I'm also not in the NFL.
well, and you're right. Where when we were kids, gambling was this illicit thing. Where like when you
Yes.
heard about an athlete who was gambling, it was, oh, they knew a shady guy. He might be mob adjacent.
The Ace Rothsteins of the world.
Right. It was like even like saying like, oh, I know a bookie. Like it felt like very hush hush.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like ESPN has entire segments that are brought to you by DraftKings.
Mike Greenberg has become a gambling shill. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he does. He has
But they have a whole segment on the morning show I listen to called Best Bets.
he has a catchphrase. Like the ESPN catchphrases used to be related to the clips. Now his catchphrase is related to the gambling commercial he does.
Yeah.
Because he says "boost it, baby," where he wants to boost whatever like parlay he's making.
I don't. I
That's
don't.
his thing now.
I don't. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I don't watch a lot of Greenberg, because that would just. That's.
Well, he
But
says it in the
that's where we
commercial.
are.
That's that's his thing in the commercials. He doesn't say it on the broadcasts, as far as I know.
And it's not a money thing, because I looked it up. Sorsby had an NIL deal at Texas Tech between $5 and $6 million. Tim, if you gave me $5 million right now, I could retire, assuming I live to be 80 years old, and be straight up comfortable. $5 million, I don't have to do a thing, and I could eat and live and travel to New York and do the things that I'm used to doing. So it's not a money thing. I really think it is the hyper competitive Uber, get me that dopamine hit that scoring a touchdown just isn't doing anymore. And from an addictive viewpoint, at what point does that not become enough?
Well,
And then
and I
what's
mean,
next?
we've seen it with guys like, I mean, like Jordan and Barkley, where like golfing outside the game and betting. Oh, well, we're gonna play $5,000 a hole. Like it does fill that void, like in the off season or in the time where you're not competing in the sport you play.
Yeah, but doing it on the golf course is fine. When Jordan starts, hey, Matumbo, 10,000, I hit this. That's
Right.
a different story, especially, and I'm not saying this would happen, but it can. Here's Sorsby on the sideline. I'm going to place a $5 bet that my man Myles Garrett gets a sack on this play.
And I mean, it's going to be very interesting if there is discipline handed down, because these gambling sites are essentially a corporate partner of the NFL.
Yeah.
And so for the NFL to then say, this is wrong, but then also have the other side of the mouth tell fans, but keep doing it. It's going to be an
Because
interesting message the NFL is sending, not only to Brendan Sorsby, but to its fan base.
yeah, that's fair. Do you think Sorsby gets picked? I think he gets picked. Where do you think he goes?
I think he gets picked. Any of the destinations we'd said that's quarterback poor and needs to bring in another guy to compete. So,
I'm
you know,
guessing Miami. That's my guess.
Miami seems like it would be a natural fit just because they don't know what the hell they're doing at quarterback.
I'm saying, and I say they give up a second, but we'll
Well,
see.
he was projected for the 2027 draft as a first round guy.
Yeah, I don't think you give up a first in a supplemental draft.
No, I don't either. Not with the baggage, but I could see a team giving up a second. I don't think he falls farther than a team giving up a third.
That's fair. We will see. The one thing we can talk about for certain, the NFC West is probably the toughest division in football.
They're good at football.
And I say this as a Bears fan out of the NFC North, which is another tough division. But we will continue our Soup and Meatballs look at the most important position players outside of quarterback. And today we focus on the aforementioned NFC West, Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Arizona. Tim, where would you like to start?
Um, I think much like with the AFC West, we're going to go according to the hair alphabet. In the hair alphabet, the Seahawks are first.
The Seahawks are first everywhere, including the Super Bowl defending champs. Who do you got?
Um, I I'm going to go. I've got two names written down here. Which way do I want to go? I'm going to go Devin Witherspoon. I'm going to go defense. We all know, what they've got at receiver, but Witherspoon on defense, he's proven to be like a top 5, top 3 cornerback. A lot of what Seattle does is predicated on defense, so I'm going to go with him.
I love that because that's how Seattle wins. I mean,
Yeah.
offensively, I don't think this team is going to light the world on fire on the ground, especially after losing Kenneth Walker. I don't think Zach Charbonnet is a standalone back by himself. JSN might be the most explosive wide receiver in the game.
Yeah,
Total,
almost 1,800 yards last year. He's crazy.
totally fair but see, this is the most important player, not the best player, and not the best fantasy player. And when I look at this team, if you look at how the offensive line was ranked, they ranked second in terms of overall win rate in pass blocking. In run blocking, it was significantly less. They were 12th. I think that with Walker gone, the offensive line really needs to step up in that area and allow the running game to maybe develop a second back behind Charbonnet. So I'm going to go with the former top 10 pick back in 2022, Charles Cross, the left tackle, as being the most important figure. Obviously not the best because Seattle wins on defense and JSN is lights out. But Cross signed a 4-year, $104 million contract, making him one of the highest paid left tackles in NFL history. So this is another one of those situations where how hungry are you after you get paid?
Yeah.
And I think it's important that line continues to pass block like they did, but maybe build something for the run. So I'm going to go offensive line for Seattle.
Yeah.
Where does the hair alphabet go next?
Uh, God,
I love the hair alphabet.
Didn't you go to kindergarten? It's obviously the Cardinals.
That sounds like a plan. Wow.
I don't often go with rookies, but I'm going Jeremiah Love here. Just because when you take a running back that high, which does not happen often these days, you're going to expect elite production right away. So it'll be interesting to see what he does for a team that is going into the season, at least, clearly the bottom of the division.
Oh, yeah,
that division, and they are easily 4th of 4.
They might be 5th of 4.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that. I think of any position in the NFL, I think running back, it might be the easiest to walk into as a rookie, especially coming from a Notre Dame where they're running a pro style playbook. Your protection, your gap zone stuff, it's the same stuff. So physically, it's a step up. But yeah, Jeremiah Love really needs to step up for them.
And with a new staff coming in, their fortunes are tied to him just because when you take a running back that high, they're going to put him in every position possible to succeed because their jobs depend on it now.
Yeah. I went. I gave him a little nod as a rookie. My vote's going to go to their tight end, Trey McBride. Might be the best tight end in football.
Yeah.
Uh, Arizona leans on him not just for offense, but he led the NFL and led the NFL tight end in catches, yards, touchdowns. He's whatever QBs they have, he's going to be their best friend. But I also think if he continues to act as what he is, maybe that opens things up for Marvin Harrison a little bit because he hasn't been the breakout star that a lot of scouts thought he should have been. I think he could help take some attention off of Jeremiah Love to give him a chance to have a good rookie season as well. So I went with Trey McBride. You went running back. I went tight end. Amazing.
Yeah, well, staying true to our roots.
Amazing. Uh, where are we going next?
Obviously, we're going to the Rams.
Uh-huh. And we might have the same player.
Yeah, the first guy to appear twice in this segment.
I love that.
He's somehow both the most important guy for the Browns and now he's the most important guy for the Rams, Myles Garrett.
Yeah, easily. That's unquestioned. Can we just go back in time to the show where we talked about the AFC North and just cut in what we said about him there?
Yeah, but can we dub the word Rams for Browns?
You know what? Now that I mention it, I think I mentioned he was the most important player for the Browns in terms of a trade.
Yeah, it certainly came up.
So he does fit that bill, getting Jared Verse and some draft picks. But holy cow, what he does for the Rams!
And not only that, but do you think this draws Aaron Donald out of retirement?
No, I think
there's been a lot of speculation that
How many years has it been for him? Since they won the Super Bowl.
4? 5?
4? That feels like a lot. If it was 2, but hey, it'd be a fun story. So I mean, why not? Let's speak that into existence. Can you imagine? They really they're going all in this year, and what really helps Myles Garrett. There's a kid named Kobe Turner who's on the other end of the defensive line, who I could see him single blocked getting double digit sacks this year. I think he had 8 last year.
And if for Myles Garrett to have 23 sacks playing from behind in Cleveland.
Yeah.
When they're playing with leads now and teams are going to have to throw.
I didn't think of that.
I mean,
and you add a guy like Trent McDuffie in the defensive backfield, so that the Rams secondary got stronger as well, so that you get the 1 or 2 coverage sacks maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what they have on that defense and you look at the circumstances, he really should feast in that situation if he stays healthy.
I think what we might have a situation where we have a 16-0 or a 17-0 Rams team against the 17-0 Bengals team in a Super Bowl. That might be. And neither team could possibly lose that game. The Super Bowl might go 27 overtimes. I'm just saying.
Well, clearly that's the most likely scenario. I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait. I agree. And you know what? Just to throw a different name out there, Puka Nacua is going to have a great year as well, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's easily Myles Garrett.
Yeah. So, and then obviously that takes us to the Niners.
The 49ers.
Yeah.
Who you got?
I went with Nick Bosa.
So did I.
Coming back from the ACL. Obviously a healthy Bosa, does wonders for that pass rush, which does wonders for the entire defense. If he's slowed in any way, we talk about that division being so competitive. The Niners need every bit of firepower they can muster to be able to compete with the Rams and the Seahawks.
I think with a healthy Bosa, you're looking at a potential 12, maybe 13 win team. Without Bosa, you're looking at 9 or 10. Last year they had historically one of the easiest schedules, whatever you want to say. I don't buy into that whole thing, like, because right now, if you look at the Niners' schedule, they've got to play Seattle twice, they've got to play LA twice. That's 4 really tough games. I don't care if you get Arizona twice. Um, but historically, they had a lighter schedule last year, whatever. I still think they can be competitive if the defense is what it is, and if CMC stays healthy. Uh, but it starts and ends with Nick Bosa there.
And I mean, truly, like the Rams are, to go back to betting, they're the Vegas favorite right now to win the title. Obviously, the Seahawks are the defending champs. And if the Niners ended up uh, playing in the Super Bowl, no one would be surprised.
No. Well, I yeah, I mean, I can't think of 4 teams that I would put above them.
But if we're talking about the favorites to win the Super Bowl, if we were to rank them, certainly 3 of the top 10 come from the West, but
Yeah.
3 of the top 5 might come from the West. I mean,
In this, well, if we're gonna say the entire NFL, just the West, I think throwing Kansas City in there is fair.
Well,
I
you
think
look at
Denver is
Buffalo,
fair.
you look at Denver, you look at New
Both
England.
West divisions are tough.
And I keep saying, don't forget about that AFC South. We'll see what Texas and
With
Jacksonville,
Houston.
I think, Houston rather.
Houston's defense, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So I can't wait for football.
I'm
Now that basketball is over, I'm so ready for football.
I'm quite content to spend the next half an hour or so talking about Major League Baseball.
Ugh.
Although I'll tell you right now that we're going to start out with some. It's probably bad news. I don't know. It's very stupid news. ESPN just reported that Major League Baseball's latest proposal to the players' union, widespread changes to the amateur entry system that would make high school players ineligible for the draft.
Oh.
And then they would institute an international draft. Did you see this?
I didn't see that. That is a huge change.
They want to add an age minimum of 20 years old for domestic players to be drafted, raising it up from 16. And here's why. In my tinfoil hat opinion, they want to start reducing numbers in the minor leagues because that's one way the owners can save money. And if you have, let's say we have AAA and AA. I'm not saying they're going to get rid of every level. There's so much in terms of, all right, so Ryan just graduated. Let's say he's a top prep prospect. He gets picked in the 9th round by the Cincinnati Reds, and he trudges off to single high A ball, which is somewhere in like Butt, Montana, whatever, right? And he stays there for 40 games, and he's hitting 306, and they're like, yeah, we like what we see. We want to see you in the Arizona Fall League, and then we have that. There is so many layers to the minor leagues before you start to get to like AAA and AA, where your major league pool really is. And if we cut out the 16-year-olds and we just let college baseball do our job in player development, we don't have to pay for it. There's a problem with that, though. The problem is college knows I'm only going to see this kid for 4 years. How much development do they really want to put into them? Yeah, they want to win, but it's not the same. It's just not.
I'm curious about the international aspect of it.
The international draft, I have this written down. The international draft would cover all amateur players born outside of the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. Would be 12 rounds with a $200 million bonus pool, according to the worldwide leader. So 12 rounds, $200 million. I mean, that's fine. But that's just for international players. It's not for the kid out of Reading High School, or the kid who you look at when Bryce Harper was drafted coming out of high school. He's going to go to college. Great. Uh, but does he really have to? Baseball is one of those things where, and you get this out of the Moneyball movie. Do you want to go to college? Yeah, you'll have fun, you'll play, you'll develop, but you won't learn what it's like to be a professional. Like baseball 24/7. And for some kids, that's what they want. Now, for some kids who maybe get injured or who just aren't good enough to make it to the majors, which, let's face it, is most kids,
Yeah.
the loss of a potential college education is a factor. And I don't know. I don't think it's Major League Baseball's responsibility to parent, Ryan in saying that, we think you should go to college, kid.
I'd be curious to hear what the players' union thinks about that. I can't
Well, it
imagine
just
they'd
came
be
out
in
this week,
favor
so
of it.
no, I doubt it. But I mean, this was the latest thing. I think I saw it on Wednesday that this news hit. Uh, it's been blasted all over. Like, nobody thinks this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Nobody. Like, um, so
Does it have a timetable for when they would want to implement that? Because that's a drastic change.
well, obviously not this MLB draft is coming up.
Right.
So I mean, it's too late for here. I don't know. Um, it would have to be instituted, voted on, ratified. I'm not even sure it would be in place for next year's draft.
Right.
But I mean, let's also not get ahead of ourselves. It's not going to get approved by the players' union, and we're still full steam ahead to December 1st lockout. So that's
I mean, is there anything that's led you to believe that there won't be a work stoppage?
no, not at all.
Yeah.
Um,
There's been no progress of note. I mean, it's sad how inevitable it feels.
yeah. Uh, the other thing, other term in terms of news, before we get into like game by game stuff, have you seen the All Star voting leaders?
I voted this morning, and I know they put the little 1-2 like next to the top vote getters at each position.
Oh, okay. I just saw, and as I was looking up stuff here this morning, the last ballot updates I saw here on Fox was 4 days ago, and in the National League, the American League, your current leaders behind the plate, Shea Langeliers of the
Yes.
A's.
Yep.
I think we voted for him. First base, this is where it's kind of a bummer for me. Vlad. This is the popularity contest. Vlad Guerrero is number one, ahead
Yeah.
of Ben Rice and Munetaka Murakami. Second base, I forget who I voted for, but I didn't vote for Ernie Clement of the Blue Jays. He has a sizable lead.
AL second base is dire. There are no like real candidates who jump out.
Shortstop, Bobby Witt. Can't feel bad about that. Third base, the guy I voted for, Junior Caminero of the Rays.
Yep. And there's that guy from the White Sox who's got
Miguel Vargas.
yeah, he's got like who am I thinking of? Is he at third? Well, anyway.
You thinking about Murakami?
No, I wasn't thinking at first. I was thinking at third in the AL. Who's listed from the White Sox?
Miguel Vargas.
Oh, that's not who I was thinking of.
The other, Colson Montgomery is fourth at short. That's all the White Sox have.
That's who it is. Colson Montgomery at short, because he's got like 20 home runs. He's hitting maybe like 270.
He's behind Andres Jimenez and Kevin McGonigal, so I don't like his chances of winning. Bobby Witt has 890,000 votes. Montgomery has 176,000 votes. He's not overtaking.
And I had been voting for Bobby Witt just because it would be fun to see a big name.
Yeah. Tops out in the outfield, not a shock. Aaron Judge will not be playing in the All-Star game though, but he leads the American League in votes. Mike Trout I just got put in the injured list. Kind of a bummer there for him. It was a nice story for Trout. Cody Bellinger, Byron Buxton, and Riley Green from Detroit round out the American League outfield.
Yeah, and I'm trying because I know I keep voting for Hunter Goodman in the National League. I forget who's leading. Who's the leading vote getter at catcher in the National League?
So before we get there, Yordan Alvarez is the American League vote leader, designated hitter,
Oh
obviously
yeah,
deservedly so. So Hunter Goodman in the National League is fifth, has zero chance of overtaking Drake Baldwin, who is at 972,000. Hunter Goodman only has 110,000. Will Smith of the Dodgers coming in number two.
yeah.
Freddie Freeman leading the way at first. Ozzie Albies at second. I voted for Albies. Bryce Harper at first, only third.
And I've been voting for Harper just because I want to see him start in Philadelphia. And
That's fair.
he hit for a cycle last night. The Phillies.
We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. C.J. Abrams edging out Mookie Betts. I think that's down to 12,000 votes. So that's still really close right now. I think we both voted for Ellie De La Cruz. He's just coming back from the injured list. At third, Max Muncy of the Dodgers, sizable lead. In the outfield, we have Paz from the Dodgers, Acuna from the Braves, Brandon Marsh from the Phillies. That's a nice story there.
Yeah, he's hitting like 315.
Michael Harris and Teoscar Hernandez rounding out the outfield, and then a no-doubter for the DH spot, Shohei Ohtani, the overall leader in votes with 1.1 million.
I would still tell people to vote for Schwarber. Ohtani's going to get there anyway, but Schwarber, starting in his home park would be a nice thing.
Do you want to talk about Schwarber yesterday? Holy cow.
Yeah, that's I was sitting here. I had Mets Phillies on, and then that third inning when they score 8 runs, I see him come up and he just yanks one to right, and I'm like, how far did this thing go? And it's 456 feet, and then he gets a second at bat in the inning, and he hits one even farther.
And when you said that to me, I was like, well, I like the Phillies' chances of winning this game, and they were playing the Mets.
Well, so and he hit a third home run. Not in the inning, obviously. That would be. But yeah, he had 3 home runs last night.
That would be really bad for the Mets pitching staff.
Yeah. Harper, like I said, hit for the cycle last night.
Yeah, so I want to show you something here. So you might want to pull the glasses up. We got some Soup and Meatballs video courtesy of our good friends at Major League Baseball and Fox.
Is this
here is the at bat where we'll cut the audio here. So here's the shot. Now, what I love about this is Schwarber's on first, and he knows he has to try to score. But let's go back to this spot right here. The shortstop has the ball.
Yeah.
Why are you throwing home? There's 2 outs. Look at this. It says 2 outs. I get it's 12-1. The game is basically over. They scored this. They score this as a triple. But a lot of people online are over here saying it's a double, advance on the throw, possible E6. What say you?
I think because there's no hesitation at second. He was full speed ahead going for third when the cutoff gets there. I think it could have been scored either way, but I don't have a problem with them.
Give him a triple. It's a cycle. Cycles are cool.
It's the hardest part of the cycle to get at your home park. That's what a hometown score is for.
That's what I'm saying, man.
It's a 50-50, and I don't have a problem with
it. Cycles are cool, and Major League Baseball needs stuff that is cool to give us something to talk about. So, cool day for the Phillies. Big week on the mound.
Christopher Sanchez was pitching too, which is always a treat these days.
There you go. I like watching this guy in Milwaukee, Jacob Mizorowski. Now, amazingly, he took his first loss in 2 months.
Yeah.
He gave up 2 runs. It was the first time since April 25th that he gave up multiple runs. He'd given up. I wrote it down. 1 earned run in 8 starts.
I mean, he's routinely going out there and popping 104.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
like with
ridiculous.
movement, wild stuff. In that the Braves were able to get to him for 2 runs to get a big win. The other thing I wrote down is kind of big since we were last on air. Mariners got Cal Raleigh back. They got him back in the lineup. His first game back, he got a 2-run single in the 7th inning. Helped Seattle beat the Baltimore Orioles. But Seattle right now is right in the thick of a tough race out in the American League West. So getting the big dumper back can only help them.
Yeah, and you know we've said about the season starts to get a little more serious when Memorial Day hits around, and now we're getting near the All-Star break. Things are heating up a little bit.
Little bit, and where things are heating up in New York a little bit. Um, Maybe it's the kind of the other feeling in Boston, but outside of the spanking they got yesterday, I think New York had a good week. They swept Cleveland, took 2 or 3 against Toronto, took 2 or 3 against the White Sox.
They're up what 3.5 on Tampa.
Right now, the
Yeah,
lead is 3, but they're doing this without Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge
yeah.
hasn't played since May 31st, and Spencer Jones got the call up, and he's hitting 235 since he's been up, and he's got
What's
a K rate of 41%. He feels like Aaron Judge when he was a rookie. Um,
what's the ETA on Judge?
August, August at best, and that's when he's going to get reevaluated. So um, it's going to be a while. But I've been tracking. I have a little spreadsheet now that I'm going to track New York during the injury, and they've played 16 games without him. They're 10-6, and amazingly, they've scored 5.5 runs a game. It's where they're really good is on the mound. Their average runs allowed in those 16 games is about 3.5. So while you get a guy
Well,
like Ben Rice who's hitting the crap out of the ball,
I
and
mean,
Cody Bellinger is playing well, uh, Cam Schlittler is pretty much your American League All-Star starter. I don't
yeah, I
think
was gonna say
that's
he's a legit front runner for Cy Young.
yeah. I think Cy Young's that's further down. Let's stay consistent. All-Star game number 1 though.
Right. Oh
That's
yeah,
easy.
I'm just saying as of almost July.
Contender. Yeah, I'll give you that absolutely. The real question though for me has been, how good can the bullpen be? And I think I looked at the bullpen from how bad they were in May. If I look, I because I did, I looked at the 7 games that they played. I try to go week to week on the show. The last 7 games, the Yankees bullpen has pitched around 20 innings, and they've given up 11 runs. That's an ERA of 3.7. That's great. They have a strikeout to walk ratio of 5. 25 strikeouts, 5 walks. That's elite.
Yeah.
If you there's a website called Inside the Pen. Check that out. That's a really cool website if you're into baseball bullpens. They track only 3 teams with better bullpens, and one of them is San Diego, who just happens to have a guy that throws 240 miles an hour, hasn't given up a run since you and I were at Greeby.
Yeah.
So Atlanta and Seattle have better ranked bullpens. So they're not entirely awful. It's just I think the Yankees bullpen is a roller coaster that they just happen to be going up at the moment. So trade deadline, I don't know if the Yankees. I think they have to look for another reliever. Uh, blah, blah, blah. What's the? I can't think of the guy's name. Give me a second. We're definitely looking this guy up to call him out. Um, the Yankees bullpen they did drop. They're 7th now because it's game by game, and
Right.
the Reds just put 10 runs on them. So Camilo Duvall, he won't be around down the stretch. ERA's over 5, but I you gotta love stay. We talked the last time we had a show. If the Yankees could play 500 ball without Aaron Judge, they would stay in contention for the playoffs. Maybe not the division, but that's a we'll see how well Tampa plays. They're 10-6 right now, so you're 4 games better than 500 without Aaron Judge, and they've got a big series coming up with after Cincinnati. Who do they play? They go to Detroit and then they go to Boston for 4. So
And
I knew they had big series coming up.
Detroit's been playing better.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. Um, I wish I had good things to say about Boston, but
Boston is, you know what though? Here's the thing: where they're 5 games out of the wild card, but they're a good week away from being 2 games out of the wild card. So I was watching MLB Network, and one of the it was the Red Sox game, and when the announcers were saying all of Major League Baseball is rooting against Boston right now because they want them to be sellers, and you really have to. It's 3 weeks to decide, are you buyers or sellers? Right now, if it was the middle of July right now, Boston would be selling.
yeah.
But I
It,
don't. Who does Boston have coming up here?
well, and I was going to say the problem with them, you'd have to think that they're going to be sellers because all of their injuries, no one's due back. They keep pushing back the timeline on Crochet. They
Yeah.
keep pushing back the timeline on Robin Anthony, and Story's probably out until August with the sports hernia.
So here you go. You have those games against New York, which I mean, you took 2 or 3 against New York in the Bronx. You have a 4 game set. Let's assume you split there. You have 3 games against Colorado. You could very easily sweep Colorado, and then you have the Nationals, who are they're a feel good story,
Best
but they're not.
offense in baseball.
They are they the number 1 offense really?
I think in terms of runs scored, they might be the number 1 offense in baseball, or maybe the
Let's.
National League.
You are not wrong. Well done. They also give up the most runs in the National League. So,
Well, look, you win some, you lose some.
next to the Rockies, so you have 2 of the worst pitching teams coming up, and then you're at the Angels,
The
who
worst team
are
in the AL, I think.
they're not great, and then you go to the White Sox, and then by the middle of July, All-Star break, you finish at the Mets. So this is not a, aside from all the injuries, you get yourself hot, and it's harder to sell. That's why it's like the announcers were like they're really rooting against Boston now because they Major League Baseball wants to be able to pick them apart. I don't care if they're in last place right now. They might not be there the next time we have a show. I'm just
Well,
saying.
to this point, the most exciting thing at Fenway is when the Scottish fans
Yeah,
were out. The Tartan Army was there
I
for
love
Sunday
them.
night baseball against the Rangers last week.
They're amazing.
But you're right. The Sox are like 13, 14 games under 500.
Yeah.
If we get to the All-Star games like 3.5 weeks away, if the Sox can be even like 8 games under 500 at the break, 7 games under 500, that would at least put a little bit of a happy face on what's been a miserable first half.
I think they have a very favorable end of half schedule. Now, that doesn't mean anything because a lot of these games are on the road, and I think I thought I saw one West Coast trip in there, like they're at the Angels and like they're on the like that. That's not an easy trip to make.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to paint it a little brighter for you,
I
a little bit.
appreciate that. I'll take whatever I can get.
I'm doing my best, because here we're at what time? Time out.
Okay.
What's that? 12:20. Okay, will do. All right, we're back. So now's the time on the show where I set the alarm to make sure Derek goes to work.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we'll be done by this time. Get Derek ready for work. Boom, done. And he's getting picked up at 12:20. That's fine. All right, hey, it's list time. Everybody's favorite part of the show, and I have 2, and one of them we're gonna get a video for. And let me get that set up. Here we go. Oh, come on, file. You know you wanna. It's thinking really hard. Okay, here we are. The first guy on the list, I'm not going to show you video. I'm not going to air the clip. If you know, you know. This guy is absolutely on the list. Josh Hokett.
Oh
You're
yeah.
on the list. Jackass. Number
Way,
2.
way to ruin a classy event like a
Whatever.
UFC fight on the south lawn of the White House.
Whatever.
Show some decorum, bud.
Yeah. Number 2. I want you to watch this. Emil Jimenez against Jason Dominguez is up to bat. He misses by 6 inches. Dominguez goes to challenge, and Jimenez is like, nah. And the reason given, I took the audio off. The reason given, replace one more time, was it was a delay. Like he didn't challenge it fast enough. He challenged it less than a second after that strike call. At what point are we telling the umpires it is okay to say, no, you're not allowed to challenge this? Especially when you miss a call by 6 inches.
And we knew we were going to see pushback from umpires against the challenge system.
Unbelievable. Hang on. I got Big Jake calling.
Okay.
Hey, happy Father's Day. How are you? Not really, no.
Where are you?
I'm doing my show right now. I'm at home.
Oh, you're doing your show.
Yeah. You're on your way to Roseanne's.
Pretty soon. I got your. I turn my phone off when I come from church.
That's fair. That's okay.
The last thing I do at the end of the night is I delete all my messages and I saw your message. Are you coming? Or are you not coming?
Am I coming where?
You said Monday, Wednesday.
I was asking you. Can you do Tuesday or Wednesday?
I can do Tuesday. I can do Wednesday.
Okay. We'll pick a day because Roseanne wants to come too. So tell her Tuesday or Wednesday, and then call me when you get to Roseanne's.
All right, I'll call you then.
Be safe. Bye bye. Railroad.
And a happy Father's Day to Mr. Jamili.
There we go. Happy Father's Day, Big Jake. We're trying to figure out when we can meet up for lunch, so as to celebrate Father's Day and such. But yeah, Emil Jimenez. Guess what? You just made the list.
I have a quick addition to the list.
Good. I can't wait.
So I don't know if you saw this video, the Knicks parade, where there was a guy who was ODing.
Oh no, I didn't see that. Oh, that's terrible.
It was a guy who was ODing, and there was a young lady there. She's 24 from New Jersey. She's an EMT who happened to be there to like provide medical assistance.
Yeah.
Someone threw her some Narcan that she gave him, and he regained consciousness and immediately tried kissing her on the mouth, like sexually assaulting this woman who saved his life.
Wow.
I was reading her story in the New York Post where she said, like, as an EMT, that happens to her, like she's used to it, which is sad. So this guy who got his life saved, I'm putting him on the list.
That's fair. I don't know his name, but
well, they didn't list his name in the post, and I forget the name of the woman, the EMT, but good on her for saving someone's life. At the parade. Good for her.
All right. So I thought of a new segment we could do here on Soup and Meatballs. Sometimes the news can make you wonder, what happened to people, and we spend a lot of time putting people on the list, talking about what's wrong in the world. But every now and then there's a story comes out that reminds you there's a lot of good out there in the world, and it's nice to have our faith in humanity restored. So if I ever come across a story that will restore your faith in humanity a little bit, I'd like to share it here.
We want to warm your cockles.
I found 2 videos here that I'm going to share with you. One of them from the College World Series.
Okay.
Check this out.
This might be the best moment of the entire college baseball season. In the bottom of the 9th inning, with
Can you
Georgia
hear the
now
audio?
taking their season on
Yeah.
the line, Bulldog senior captain Colby Branch stepped into the box for his final career at bat. Manning second base for Oklahoma was his younger brother Kyle, and in the stands were their parents, who were getting emotional knowing that this might be the last time they see
The
Colby
last
taken
at bat
out.
for
The
this
2-2
kid.
count. Colby launched the ball deep into left
Frank.
center field that cleared the wall, giving him his 20th home run of the season and ending his collegiate career with a home run in the College World Series. Rounding the bases, not only was Colby emotional, but his younger brother Kyle was.
There's
after
his younger
watching
brother
big
playing
John
second
run the
base.
bases one last time. They got to share a high
He gives him a
five
high
as Colby was
five,
rounding second base, and he blew
blows
his
a kiss
parents
to his
kiss
parents in the
They were
stands.
holding back tears watching their son go out in the best way possible. After dapping up his brother on the field, Colby was embraced by all his teammates coming back into the dugout. Not a dry eye in sight as they watched their senior leader go out on top. Colby and Kyle, the first and only pair of brothers to square off in the College World Series, with Kyle and Oklahoma advancing to the National Championship Series. The brothers caught up post-game and shared a hug, the last time those two will ever be in uniform at the same time.
Look at that.
I saw that. That's very cool.
That's got to make you feel good a little bit. The next video is something that how much Family Guy have you ever watched?
Here and there.
Do you know how Peter and Quagmire sing together?
How they sing together?
Yeah, are you familiar with like the songs they sing?
I mean, I saw an episode where they had like, not overly familiar.
If you're not familiar with Peter and Quagmire singing about putting butter on a Pop-Tart, then you might want to watch that video first. But I saw these two characters. This is amazing. Watch this.
Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? It's so freaking good. Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? If you haven't, then I think you should.
So the guy in the blue, with his left hand, is doing the frets, and with his right foot is drumming, while both of these guys are juggling 2 oranges and a lemon because they couldn't get 3 oranges. This is amazing. That's
How long do you think it would take you and I to learn how to do that?
forever. Yeah, there's no chance. I think we'd be more likely to remember in its entirety our 6th grade handshake.
Yeah, I think muscle memory would kick in on that.
But when I saw that, I'm like, I have to find a way to put this on the show. And I've long thought, the list is a really good, what do you call it? It makes you feel good bitching about people and how miserable they are, but there's some good out there too. So let's share that with the world.
We give you all flavors here on Soup and Meatballs.
We're trying to. I'm trying to. Quick hitter time. Are you ready?
I am always ready for a quick hitter.
It's not quick today. There's 9. Holy cow. So let's go. Number 1. Apparently there's this thing going on called the World Cup. On my trip to New York, the Brazil fans were all over Times Square. They basically were handing out flags in the corners. The biggest story here stateside, the United States team. Now, every time I see the abbreviation for the men's national team, I think of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for some reason.
Yeah.
TMNT. But the U.S. qualified for the knockout round after following up their historic win over Paraguay with a 2-0 win over Australia. Turkey's loss against Paraguay means the U.S. will win the group and play a third-place team from either Group B, E, F, I, or J, whatever. Forward Christian Pulisic, nursing an injured calf from before the World Cup. He aggravated it in Game 1, but he doesn't need to play in Thursday's game against Turkey, and hopefully he's ready to go for next week. Tim, World Cup thoughts?
Yeah, I've been watching both U.S. and non-U.S. matches. I get very excited for the World Cup every 4 years. I've been watching more Premier League, so it's fun to see, even some of the Premier League guys that I recognize for their home countries. I'm really enjoying it. Africa's having a good showing, too. Morocco's played well. Ivory Coast.
The Ivory Coast, they had a 1-0 lead, but Germany came back. They won 2-1.
Yes. And there was a great game last night between Curacao, who never had a World Cup point, but they got a draw with Uruguay, who the keeper for Curacao was standing on his head. 15 saves, set a World Cup record for a 90-minute match, no extra time. Really something to see.
I forget what match it was that I tried to get the video for it. There was a goalie makes a save, falls down, so he's sitting on his rear end, makes another save from his rear end.
Yes.
That was amazing. And he was in the goal, but the ball wasn't, so no goal.
It might have been the keeper for Mexico.
That sounds right. Yeah, amazing thing.
Yeah.
So the World Cup, there you go. Number 2, Wyndham Clark with a -7 has a 6-shot lead at the U.S. Open. Today he'll get the ultimate real-world test with a fun golf question. How many shots do you need to be leading by to hold off Scotty Scheffler at a major in order to win? Clark's win probability is at 71.6%, according to Data Golf. Tim, do you have any U.S. Open thoughts?
I haven't really watched U.S. Open. I've been a little upset that it's preempted Jeopardy on Thursday and Friday. I was going to WBRE and I was like, oh, come on.
U.S. Open, you just made the list.
But I'll watch, like the sort of tail end of the last round today, just for the coronation aspect of it.
There you go. Wednesday afternoon, Caitlin Clark announcing the Caitlin 1 Nike shoe. According to Nike, the Caitlin 1 uses a new Nike Opticast technology designed to reduce drag and enhance on-court movement. The shoe will cost $140 in North America and $135 for the rest of the world. Now, Roseanne sent me a link to a nice pair of New Balances the other day. I think that's more of a dad shoe. It's clear I'm not in the market for the Clark shoe. How about you?
I probably will not be buying the Clark shoe. I'm at the age now where
you don't need to reduce drag and enhance on-court performance.
I don't need to reduce drag so much as I just need like a good, comfortable, like an air cushion, like extra cushioning in the sole, please.
There you go. That's good for me. Number 4. Reports from The Athletic are saying that Major League Baseball is going to abandon the timer for the Home Run Derby, going back to a swing format for the first time in more than a decade. MLB has not officially announced the news, but here we are reporting it for them, according to The Athletic. Supposedly hitters are going to have 20 swings in the first round, 15 swings for the semifinal and finals, but the round cannot end on a home run. So if you hit like home run after home run after home run, you keep going. Tim, good news, bad news, or no news?
No news. I slightly prefer the urgency of the timer, but the home run derby's fun regardless.
I think it's good news. I like the relaxing. I'm the opposite. I don't want pitchers like to rush stuff, and I like the swing aspect of it. And I like you don't end the round on a home run, so you could get like a massive barrage, maybe like, is Josh
Hamilton?
Josh Hamilton. That's right. I was thinking in the New York All-Star game. So we'll see. Number 5. Michigan has offered a 2029 wide receiver that's going to make us feel old. Mario Manningham Jr. just got his offer after camp on Tuesday. He's excited, but he says his dad is even more excited. Tim, how do your knees feel after hearing that?
My knees always hurt, regardless of Mario Manningham Jr. I just want him to catch a last-second touchdown to beat Penn State, so everything can come full circle.
That works for me. Number 6, for the second straight year, Major League Eating comes to Hershey Park for a Coney Island hot dog qualifier. I didn't know about this. I would have went.
Hershey, Pennsylvania, by the way, the home of U.S. soccer captain Christian Pulisic.
How about that? Well, not the home of George Chiger. He's a Pocono Pines resident. He ate 25 and a half hot dogs to qualify for the men's competition. It's the 8th time he's qualified. And Laurel Marie Meele, M-E-L-E. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm sorry. She's from Long Pond. She ate 12 and a quarter hot dogs to send herself to, get this, her 16th straight Nathan's Famous contest. How about that?
How many hot dogs do you think you could eat these days?
Well, I mean, I'm on the Wegovy thing, so if I push. Now, are we talking hot dogs? Are we talking Jimmy dogs? Jimmy dogs are thicker. We've talked about this last July, I think.
Yeah. I'm going to just go like standard, like Oscar Mayer hot dog.
Oh, those are small. I could do, I mean, with bun and like condiments.
Just bun, just like standard speed eating.
8.
I think I could do 8.
I mean, because they're small. Now, Coney dogs are bigger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't. And Jimmy dogs are thicker. And you start to throw in the onions and mustard on them. Yeah, that's a different story.
And you can't get Jimmy dog without a side of fries and a Farmer's.
And if we're saying that I can't have, what do they call it? What do they call regurgitation? They have a really.
Oh, they have another term for it.
Yeah, let's get this. What does Major League Eating call?
Is it called undogging?
Reversal. They call it a reversal, or
like
a Roman
like
incident.
Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yeah, and the way it's described, it's this describes food coming back out the way it went in. They won't call it vomiting. So yeah, there you go. Number 7. Yesterday in history, the theatrical release of Jaws, 1975. This is just another opportunity for you to yell at me for waiting so long to see it.
Yeah, I will not be seeing Wicked until you see Jaws. Also,
I did see Jaws.
Oh, that's right. You said you
It
went
just
with
took
Norm.
it took me Norm's 40 years birthday to get there.
That's right. You said you went with Norm. I'm still not seeing Wicked though.
Ah, you're killing me. Number 8. Speaking of Norm's birthday, happy belated birthday. Yesterday, Nicole Kidman was born. We won't say how old she is. Do you have a favorite Nicole Kidman role or movie?
I really liked her. I don't know if you remember the movie To Die For.
That I wrote that down. That's the one that put her on the map for me back in high school. That was a really good movie.
I really liked her in that. It's a very underrated 90s movie.
I saw The Interpreter too. That was a pretty good movie.
Oh yeah, I remember that. She plays like an interpreter at the UN or something.
And she overhears some kind of terrorist plot or something. Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Last one, number 9. Today in history, 1893, the world's very first Ferris wheel opened up to the public at the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, standing some 264 feet tall. Tim, have you ever been on a Ferris wheel?
Yeah, at Knoebels.
Would it surprise you to know that I have never been on a Ferris wheel?
That would not. But also, anyone who wants to read about the invention of the first Ferris wheel should read the book Devil in the White City. Great book about the 1893 World's Fair.
Oh, there you go. So, good times. We're in a long A block today. Ooh, we're gonna have to pick up the pace here if Derek's gonna get to work. So,
pace of play. Come on.
What are we doing draft wise today, Tim?
We are going to focus on the NBA draft, and we are going to pick some prospects.
Mock it out like we did for the NFL. So, color and number for the top pick.
Let's go. For the U.S. men's national team, we'll go red for red, white, and blue, and we will go 4 for the 4th of July. Red 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. You're not going to get the first pick. I get the 5 of clubs. This is the Treaty of Alliance with France in 1778, a defensive treaty between France and the United States promising mutual military support in case of attack by the British forces. So that means I'm going to get all the odds. You're going to get all the evens then.
Yes.
That's fair. So I think so. I have Washington, number 1, and let me get my mock draft notes up for Washington. They need a lot of stuff, and I don't think it is out of the realm of possibilities that they go with the guy from BYU, AJ DeBansa.
DeBansa, yeah.
DeBansa. So I mean, I'm just going to go chalk here. AJ DeBansa, number 1.
Yeah,
I think
that was my number 1, and you know, he kind of reminds me and when I say reminds me, I'm talking about like the upside of like what he could be, but almost like a Tracy McGrady type,
Okay.
like pure score, just automatic bucket type of guy. I think he could be that type of player at his best.
So you got you. I have Utah down as number 2. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not as good at the NBA draft as him as the NFL draft, so I might pick like uh, uh
I know.
Yaxel from Michigan, number 3. We'll see.
So I'll say this. This is not the player who's going to go number 2 on Tuesday, but I think he's going to have a better pro career than the 2 guys that are going to be picked ahead of him, most likely.
Let's do it.
I'm going with Caleb Wilson from North Carolina.
Okay.
You know, just like the long, shifty 6'9" guy. I think he's another one with a lot of upside. You know, I think if you're talking in terms of comparison, I think he could be like almost like a bigger Sean Marion.
He's a 20-10 guy
Yeah.
at North Carolina, so
And I think he's just going to keep growing into both his body and his skill set. I know he's not going to go number 2, but I think he's the second best prospect in this draft.
sure. And so what that does then so Memphis is up next. If that's the case, Memphis really they have a need in the backcourt. And if Darren Peterson is there for him, they're going to go Peterson all day. Peterson's a 20-point scorer in Kansas, so Memphis feels like they've got a steal there.
Yeah, and look, he's the guy. A lot of people had him projected as the number 1 guy. You know, during the season, he was such a stud for Kansas. But you know, everything I've seen out of him is just when he's on the court, his heart doesn't seem in it. You know, he's taken himself out of games, and he hasn't gone to work out for Utah. He gives me bad vibes.
That's fair.
What
You got the Bulls.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with Cameron Boozer. He's another guy who I wonder how well his game's going to translate. I think he can be. I've seen some people compare him to a Chris Webber, but he reminds me more of a Corliss Williamson, a guy who was able to overpower people in college,
but
who
won't
might
be
not
able
be able to
to
do that in the pros when he's playing against men.
Gotcha. So now we have. I wrote down the LA Clippers, and the Clippers. They need help at point guard. They need help down low. So the best rated point guard I can see here. Let's go with Darius Cuff Jr. from Arkansas. Guy looks like he averaged 24 points a game, 6 assists. I know nothing of him except he's the highest rated point guard in the draft.
Yeah, he's a guy who's just a natural scorer. He really carried them like in the SEC tournament. You know, really kind of flowered under John Calipari. I think he's like DeBonson, Peterson, Boozer, and Wilson are I think locked in as the top 4, and then I think Acuff's the next best of like the next tier of guys.
So I did good. Sweet.
I'm gonna go
Brooklyn.
I'm gonna go with Keatlin Wagler out of Illinois.
The Illinois freshman, all around guy, 18 points a game, 4 assists, 5 boards.
He's a guy who gets hot, scores in bunches. You know, I think just like from what I've seen, from what I've read, he kind of sounds like a poor man's Klay Thompson.
Has there been a bigger drop off for somebody than what you've seen from Klay Thompson, man, you don't hear of him anymore.
Well,
You feel
I
bad.
think he tore the ACL.
Yeah.
He just he lost the step. But I mean, at his peak, he's one of the 2 or 3 greatest shooters in NBA history.
Man, peak's over though, I guess.
Well, he's old.
Who is not old is the guy that the Sacramento Kings will draft with the 7th pick, and they could use some help in the front court. And I have 2 places I can go, and I think Sacramento feels like the kind of team that they would do this kind of move. We're going to go international. We're going to go to New Zealand, and we're going to take the 6'9" Kareem Lopez.
Okay, I don't know a lot about Kareem Lopez.
Well, like I said, the list of power forwards and guards. I can just see Sacramento doing something here. Lopez is 18 years old. He's big 11th on the ESPN big board, but combination of professional experience, long-term versatility. He's been playing in the pros against grown professionals. Looks comfortable. They call him the Swiss Army knife. Not an elite vertical athlete that might limit some of his game, but is someone going to consistently play hard with the right strength and conditioning program. So that's, again, I don't. If you're going off of what I say in the NBA draft, you're kind of silly. But
So
I'm putting him in Sacramento because I think Sacramento's kind of silly.
So that gives. Am I at 7 now?
8th pick, Atlanta Hawks.
Or that's right, 8th. I'm going to go. I think in the back half of the first round, we're going to see a lot of small guards go, and I think the best of the ones I think the best of the group is Acuff, who you got. So I'm going to go with Michael Brown of Louisville.
Okay, and here's the thing with this pick, I don't know who this pick actually belonged to, because it most certainly did not belong to the Hawks. It was a New Orleans pick that they traded to the Hawks. So the Hawks, really the only team that gave the Knicks some kind of trouble in the playoffs, get a top 10 pick here. And
it sounds
you're giving
like
them Michael Brown?
Yeah. It sounds like the Hawks are bringing CJ McCollum back, so I think Brown could play behind him for a year or two and could eventually sort of fill the void of like a small guard when they got rid of Trae Young to Washington. I think Michael Brown could be sort of the guy they try to replace Trae Young with.
And listen, you get a team that makes the playoffs with a top 10 pick. It's always a beautiful thing. Gives me Dallas now. They went from the number 1 pick to the number 9 pick. And if you look at their roster, Kyrie, Chris Middleton, some guy named Cooper, they could probably use some help in the front court as well. But I mean, I think it's the what I see at the center position now on my list is it's not inspiring like lottery pick. Like I loved him in the tournament, but Ade Mara, I don't know. So let's possibly go with best possible scorer to go alongside Cooper Flag. We'll take the Tennessee Volunteer Nate Ament.
Yeah, he's an interesting case because just like a big long player at 6'10", can play some swing, can play some forward. Honestly, some overlap with Cooper Flag, who's a big 6'9" guy. I think they could complement each other well.
There you go. And round out the top 10 for us, Milwaukee.
I'm between 2 small guards here. I think I'm gonna go with Kingston Flemings out of Houston.
That's fair. Kingston Fleming, Houston. Another guy scores about the same rate as Ament.
Good
16,
defender, good outside shooter.
and another 19-year-old fresh. So a lot of kids coming into the league.
And I mean, last year's draft class was really deep because we look, obviously, we talked about Cooper Flagg and, Con Knipple had a great rookie season. Dylan Harper had a huge playoffs. VJ Edgecombe with the Sixers. And all the talk is how this draft, especially in the top 15 picks,
super deep.
Is super deep.
Yeah. So there it is. There's our top 10, or our draft. The top 10, 5 for each. We'll see how we do. I forget how we did for football. We probably got them all right, though.
I'm sure. No need to look back.
In terms of our top 5, since Jalen Brunson just won the Finals MVP, he was a second-round draft pick. I thought it might be interesting to look at all the second-round draft picks in all the leagues that were available, and maybe pick out our favorites of any sport's second-round draft picks. So, Tim, I led off the draft. You can lead off our top 5.
My first choice is an absolute no-brainer for me. My favorite football player, Brian Dawkins, was the second pick.
That's
61st overall in '96. So give me Doc.
Yeah, that and coolest, if not the coolest, one of the coolest nicknames in all sports too.
Yeah, weapon.
I didn't make a list. I just have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 13 names here that are just like amazing to be second rounders. The first guy I'll talk about is one of my favorite players of all time. Thurman Thomas was the 40th pick overall by the Bills in 1988.
Yep.
So a second rounder there for Buffalo, turning into just an amazing running back for the Bills.
Yeah, he was on my list, and one of the great backfields at Oklahoma.
Yeah, with Barry.
With Barry. And he's one of those guys who time has kind of forgotten how great Thurman Thomas was, like a league MVP. Like he was like what Roger Craig was.
He was
Thurman
a
Thomas.
thousand guy.
Yeah, he was kind of like a proto like Marshall Faulk.
Yeah. If Marshall Faulk was a second rounder, he'd be on the list too.
Yeah.
He just happened to go 2 or 3.
I think he went second overall.
I think he went 2 sounds right, but I couldn't be sure.
I'm going to go to basketball for my next one. And, this is a guy who won a title where he was a finals MVP, but then went on to more success in Boston. I'm going Dennis Johnson, who was the 29th overall out of Pepperdine in the mid-'70s.
Cool. Excellent. So you pick a guy on your team, I'll pick a guy on my team. In 1981, the Bears drafted Mike Singletary, 38th overall, and he is widely regarded. Whenever I see like all-time NFL defenses, he's put next to Ray Lewis as middle linebacker, and I always think to myself, wow, was he really that good? There had to be somebody better, but no, he's and a second round pick to boot.
Yeah. He's another guy who I think people forget how great Singletary was. His career, I really think about it, didn't last. Like I think of him as being like maybe 14 years in the league. Like it was a good career, but like he wasn't around like 17, 18 years like some guys. Do we have how long Singletary? How long did his career last?
12 seasons.
Okay, yeah, so a bit on the short side for
885 career solo tackles, 1,488 total tackles.
Ringleader of the best defense in NFL history.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna go.
Not bad for the 40th overall pick.
We've already mentioned, uh, my roots as a tight end and loving tight end. So I'm going to go with someone who I got to see in person in high school, Rob Gronkowski.
I was going to say, you saw Gronk in high school.
I did. He was in a big 33 game in 2007 because he did his senior year at Woodland Hills.
He was he's pretty good.
Yeah, I personally think he's the best tight end ever.
That's fair.
I know a lot of people would say, Gonzalez, and that's a great case for Tony Gonzalez, or Travis Kelce, or Kellen Winslow or whoever. But I think Gronk's the best of all of them.
I'm going to go to baseball, and a guy who never played for the Yankees, but whenever I see a video about him, nothing ever ceases to amaze me about Greg Maddux. And Greg Maddux was the 35th overall pick by the Cubs back in 1984, making him a second-round pick. One of the greatest pitchers of all time. And one of the greatest, minds of baseball. Like, the video about how he attacked Jeff Bagwell in July, knowing that they were going to play him in the playoffs. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, you see some of these videos now, they did an interview a few years ago of an at bat with Bonds.
Yeah, I saw that.
Maddux and Bonds,
and the way they edited it was really cool too. How they both thought through the at bat.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this on hold for a second because I actually might need to take an early bathroom break.
Oh no. Okay. Well.
Yeah. Well, I think I slammed that water a little too aggressively.
While you do that, I will take over here for a second, and there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 more guys on my list, and I'm just going to talk about some of the ones that I'm not going to take. So Cal Ripken Jr., number 48 overall, drafted by the Baltimore Orioles, one of the greatest players of all time, kind of redefined what it meant to be a shortstop in the 1980s. Mike Schmidt for the Phillies was the 30th overall draft pick in 1971. I actually have a baseball, not this one. I have a baseball autographed by Mike Schmidt. I think it's upstairs. So I'm not going to pick one of those two. Let's see. I've taken Thurman, Singletary, and Maddux, so I have 2 more to take. The next one... Oh, no, I think Tim's got to pick one. So we're going to go with him, put a star next to him, and... I guess we have to take him. Oh, yeah, we're at the 2-hour mark right now, which is kind of funny. If you watch some of the old shows, I think the first one of the shows I watched, we only went an hour 40, so it's kind of cool we're talking this long. And here he is. He's back. Should we let him on? There we go.
Hey.
Tim, you're back.
Oh, that's so much better.
That's good. So you're good for another 2 hours now.
I am. And
I'm good for another 50 minutes or so till I got to get Derek up. So I believe you're up picking your third, I think.
Yes. Yeah, because I've taken Doc and I've taken DJ. Oh, and I took Gronk. I've taken 3.
Oh, so you're picking number 4 here.
Yeah. So I didn't really look into MLB guys just because MLB draft is kind of an afterthought. So I kept it to NBA and NFL.
That's
I'm
fair.
going to go... just because he's so much fun to watch. I have NBA League Pass. Anytime the Nuggets are playing, I just like to watch Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, one of the NBA Finals MVPs, drafted in the second round.
Yes,
an amazing talent.
The clearly the best passer of any big man to ever play. Just unreal, incredibly fun to watch. Just vision alone, let alone some of the wild shots that you see. Guy who runs the floor like he has Legos in each sneaker, but gets it done.
He's not wearing the Clark 2000s.
No, and he loves his horses. Loves Jesus in America too.
There you go. For my 4th pick, I'm going to go to football, and really not for anything he's done on the field, but what he does at the Pro Bowl in the skills competition. When I see Larry Allen bench press, I get excited.
Yeah.
That man is the strongest offensive lineman I've ever seen. Drafted 46th overall by the Dallas Cowboys, Hall of Fame guard. Just a big, big dude. And
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of Jay Cutler on my TikTok or Facebook Reels recently. Not the quarterback, but the Mr. Olympia. And like, so I'm seeing a lot of like big dude lifting.
Yeah.
Larry Allen did it better than anybody in the NFL.
Yeah. I couldn't, in good conscience, pick a Cowboy.
Sure, that's fair.
Just maybe the strongest in terms of pure strength player of our lifetimes, maybe NFL history. I mean, what was his max bench, like 7?
I just know he used to press 226 pounds like 50 times. But he has benched 700 pounds, 705. There's a video here, 705. He did 43 reps of 225. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, 705 is his max. And with a 900-pound squat. He's squatting half a ton almost.
Oh my God.
That's fun to see, though.
That's like half a Kia Sorrento. All right. I get one more. I am going to take, even though he's a Purdue guy, I'm going to take Drew Brees.
Okay. That's Listen, he kept Peyton Manning from winning a third, so
yeah,
I have no problem with that.
The knock on him was that he wasn't, the typical.
He was short.
Yeah. So it's nice to see a guy who has that kind of like knock come in and prove everyone wrong.
You'd think a short guy like me would appreciate that, and I do. So, no problem with Drew Brees. For me, I mean, for my last one, I mean, how are you not going? I'm not going to go with Jalen Brunson here. So we're gonna take the guy that let me go buy a shirt and a hat in New York City. So.
Who was stopping you?
The guy in front of me. Well, nobody stopped me. This actually hurts. I sent you a picture of this. The snapback in the back is kind of like, it bugs me out because I'm looking all my hats. They're all fitted. I'm kind of like a fitted hat snob. So
I don't know if I've ever owned a fitted hat.
Really?
Yeah.
Once you find your fit, man, you never
go back.
Never go back. All right. So there we go. We all good. We're all nixed out here. Good times. Good deal. All right. Smarty Pants time. Are you ready?
I am, and I've also got a question and a short list for you.
I lost you here.
Oh, I'm here.
Is it me? Hang on. Did I do something dumb to my headphones?
I don't know. I can hear you.
Where are you?
Can you hear me now?
Try again.
You hear that?
How is that even possible?
All right, you back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't. I put the hat on, and the headphones are like, we're not going to work. So,
it's obviously the hat's fault.
It is what it is. So now we go back to natural sound, and it is what it is. Are you ready for Mr. Smarty Pants?
I am, and I was saying I have a short list, and a question for you.
Cool. We'll do Smarty Pants before Noodlehead here.
Okay.
And this is, I feel really bad about the question. I didn't come up with it. I found it. It's very cheap. I'm going to give you that. I got 2 lists here.
Okay.
So question-wise, John Weiss of the Maize and Brew feed gives us this one. Tom Brady has lost 3 Super Bowls Which University of Michigan grad, as a member of the franchise, has lost the most Super Bowls in history?
Which Michigan grad has lost the most Super Bowls?
This is the cheap
Huh.
aspect of it.
That is someone who's lost more than 3 Super Bowls?
As he's a member of the franchise, he didn't lose them. That's where they trick you.
So he was on the roster.
So I feel bad.
Was a coach or like what are we talking here then?
I'm just going to give it to you because this is so bad. Okay. Ralph Wilson Jr., the owner of the Buffalo Bills, got his law degree from the University of Michigan. Like, how would anybody know that? But I needed a question. So, but I'll give you this as a list because this you might get a little bit now. There's 2 lists. Which colleges now can boast the player or players with the most Super Bowl defeats?
Okay, what college can?
If you can give me the name of the players that have lost the most Super Bowls, that'll work too. Because there's 3. One is a pretty big name. The other 2, yeah, you got to be smarty pants to know this.
I was gonna say, like, how about like Miami, Florida?
Miami is not on the list. It's a good guess, though. I mean, they've been in enough.
How about Stanford?
No, not Stanford. The well-known player is a linebacker.
The most well-known.
So think about a linebacker who would have played and lost more than 3 Super Bowls, which means he had to be there for more than 3 Super Bowls.
Right. Let's see. A linebacker who's lost more than 3. Because I keep going back to those 90s Bills, and I'm like,
yep, you're in the right place.
Yeah.
All 3 of these players were on those Buffalo Bills.
Okay. I don't know where Darryl Talley played college ball. Am I trying to think of Cornelius Bennett?
You are supposed to think of Cornelius Bennett.
I can't remember where he played college ball.
Darryl Talley went to West Virginia. It is not West Virginia.
Okay. I can't remember where Cornelius Bennett played.
He played in Alabama.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the other two you're not going to get. I mean, I've never heard of Glenn Parker, but he also lost with the Giants.
Okay.
Glenn Parker went to the same school as one of your top 5.
Clemson? Arizona?
Arizona. There you go.
Okay.
And then Gail Gilbert was like the 8th string quarterback on this team, also lost with the Chargers. He went to Cal Berkeley.
Oh.
So there you go. But I thought to myself, you might have gotten Biscuit. But when I saw the question from Mason Brew about Tom Brady losing Super Bowls and who lost the most, they're like, Ralph Wilson, that's lousy. I wonder who lost the most. And so I got this list of Bennett, Parker, and Gilbert. The other list, I had to go to ChatGPT for. Okay. And therefore, I don't know the whatever the word is, how good this list is. But I have a list of 19 players who have been inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame that only have one single NBA title among them. Or for them. So like when Jalen Brunson only wins one NBA title and still makes the Hall of Fame because he's the best player of all time, he would make this list.
Okay.
He is not currently on this list. There are 19 players, according to ChatGPT, inducted in the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame with a single NBA title to their credit. Some of these players may have won one or more ABA titles, though.
Okay.
So, how many of those can you name?
And only as players, not as like coaches or
Correct.
Jerry West.
My list might be broken already. Jerry West.
Yeah, because they won. Oh no, they won in '72. The team that won 33 straight. They beat the Knicks in '72.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As a player, he won 1972.
Yeah.
So this is ChatGPT. Poop on them. So yes, he would be on the list. And so now there's 20.
Okay. What about Bob Pettit? He won one in that string when the Celtics, like with the '56 Hawks. I don't know if he won a second one.
Yeah, I should definitely use a different AI source. Yeah, this is terrible. So yeah, so there's 21 now,
Okay.
and I'm looking. Like I have yeah, he's definitely not here.
What about Moses?
Moses Vargas? No, Moses Vargas is not on the list.
Moses Malone.
Oh, Moses Malone. Yes, Moses Malone is on the list, and it made ChatGPT's list.
Oh, good. Okay.
Oh, good. Splendid.
Sublime. Okay.
Watch some of these guys have like six titles. Then like, I didn't look them up. I never even heard of a couple of these guys.
I'm trying to go through the years and think of guys who'd be in the Hall.
You have to watch how you say this one guy's name.
What about Paul Pierce?
Paul Pierce is on the list.
Garnett.
Kevin Garnett is on the list.
Dirk
on the list.
J. Kidd
on the list.
Is Ben Wallace?
I'm not sure if Ben Wallace is in the Hall. Is Ben Wallace in the Hall of Fame?
A 4-time Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, Ben Wallace is in the Hall of Fame. 2004 NBA champ, did not make the list, but is on the list.
Okay.
Man, chat sucks. And it was complaining to me like there was no way for it to figure it out. Like, honestly, it's not that hard.
I'm trying to think of who else from those Pistons. Chauncey Billups is not in the Hall of Fame yet. I don't think Rasheed.
Chauncey Billups is on the list.
I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame.
In fact, in the Hall of Fame.
Did he just get in like recently?
Let me see. Hall of Fame 2024.
How about Gary Payton?
Gary Payton is on the list.
I'll guess Rasheed Wallace.
You can make me look at. He is not on my list.
Okay, because he was on those 04 Pistons.
And Rasheed Wallace is not in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So that's officially wrong. That's your first wrong answer.
Okay.
Tim won ChatGPT 4.
Oh boy. Dr. J.
Dr. J is on the list. Oh, look at this. I can tell you this one already is wrong. They have Wilt Chamberlain on the list.
He won more than one title, yeah.
Problem with that, yeah.
What about...
I know this guy is definitely legit. Like,
how about Tiny Archibald?
Not on this list, but
I don't know if he won more than one title.
nope, looks like just 1981.
And he's got to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, yeah. Archibald, let me just double check that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 names here, and he's not one of them. So yeah, we'll give you've really crushed it. I should go back with some of these names and go back into that chat and say, what about this guy? What about this guy? And have it say, oh, you're right.
Drexler.
Drexler was the one I know for sure is accurate. The rest of these guys, we could be throwing darts at a blank wall here.
Yeah, who else is on the list? I'm just curious now.
The guy you got to be careful saying is Joe Fulks.
Yeah, oh, sure.
Warriors from 47. Then they have Dolph Shays.
Yeah.
Paul Arizin.
Arizin, yeah.
Carl Braun. Chet Walker.
Okay.
Rick Barry.
Oh, Rick Barry's a good one.
Nate Thurmond.
Yeah.
And Pete Maravich.
Did he win with the 81 Celtics? He was there early in Bird's career.
Yeah, Pete Maravich. So no, on his basketball reference page, Hall of Fame, 5-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, 75th anniversary team scoring champion, All-Rookie. So no, they had Pete Maravich from 1980.
The Lakers won the title in 1980.
But that's wrong. Yeah. And then they said George McGinnis as well, the Sixers.
Yeah, I knew I was going to struggle with some of those early guys because I was wondering about like someone like Dolph Shays.
And George McGinnis was not on the Sixers championship team. So what we've discovered is that AI is in no position to take over the world.
Yes.
We're safe.
All right. I think that's almost like a John Henry situation where I beat the AI. I'm a steel driving man.
Like Dwight Schrute outselling the computer.
All right. Which would you like first? The trivia question?
We'll go question first.
Okay. So obviously in Game 4 of this year's NBA Finals, the Knicks came back from 29 down to win for the biggest comeback in NBA Finals history. What was the previous largest comeback in the finals?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Did Cleveland come back from a big lead from Golden State?
No, that's a good guess from 16, but no.
No, because they came back 3-1. I thought maybe they had another comeback in there. Let's say Houston over Orlando.
That's not a bad guess either, actually.
I'm throwing a bunch of stuff against the wall, with absolutely no idea. My last guess would be, let's say the Bulls fell behind because I remember Jordan was on the bench and they had this big comeback. Was it Chicago against Portland?
Yeah, I think they were down 16 in that game, but there was a bigger comeback.
Well, hit me with it. What is it?
It would be the Celtics in 2008 against the Lakers, Game 4. So the Celtics were up 2-1 in the series. They were down 24 at the half. And then came back to make it a 3-1 series and then won, in 6. So the Knicks, 5 points.
On the broadcast?
What's that?
Did they mention that comeback on the broadcast, the Celtics one?
Not that I remember.
I had most of that game on mute, especially after most games after the Knicks fell behind by 10 in the first quarter. I was like, well, I'm going to keep the game on, but I'm going to watch something else on the iPad at the same time because I don't want to listen to Charles Barkley and Shaq talk about how bad we are. I don't need that kind of smoke in my life. So I had the game on, but I was watching it, if that makes sense.
Loud and clear. The list is, I think it's one of the easier lists I've given you.
With this.
Jalen Brunson has now become one of 5 players to win an NBA title, a Finals MVP, an NCAA title, and be named the Naismith Player of the Year in college. Who are the other 4?
Jordan?
Jordan is 1.
Magic?
Magic is 2.
Kareem?
Kareem is 3.
He didn't win there. I'm missing 2.
You're missing 1.
I'm missing 1. Oh.
Yeah, it's Brunson, then you got Jordan,
Brunson.
Magic, and Kareem. And
Brunson.
then there's a 5th guy.
Is it Bill Walton?
It is Bill Walton.
Hey, look at that!
There you go.
I was this close to saying Wilt.
Wilt wouldn't have been a bad guess.
Hey, well, let me soak in this thing for a little bit. Doesn't happen too often here, so
There you go.
I will take it. Keep 5, cut 5 times. So you said you had something here. What do we got?
Well, Toy Story 5 opened this week. This is going to be a Keep 5, Cut 5 Pixar movies.
So, you know what? Let's do it the weird way today. Let's go. Let's see what the kid feels about the old number 1.
The old number 1. I've seen this movie roughly 5,000 times because my kids were obsessed with it. It's Cars.
I've seen it once, and I don't remember. I remember the name of the car is Lightning McQueen.
Sure is.
I have no discernible ties to this movie. I feel bad, but I'm gonna cut it.
And rightfully so. I would throw that DVD out a window if I was sure.
Yeah, so let's go with number 2. Number
2, I know it's not maybe your favorite John Goodman role, but it might be up there. It's Monsters, Inc.
Oh, this is Keep All Day. It might be my favorite John Goodman role. It might
more than Walter.
Walter Sobchak, yeah.
Wow.
I love Sully. Do I have a Sully around here? I have Sully in the other room. I have like a stuffed Sully. And oh my gosh, when they open the door at the end and the kid says, "Kitty," if you're not bawling your eyes out, you're not a human.
It's a great one.
Keep Monsters Inc. all day. Let's go number 3.
Number 3, one of the great food movies of all time. It's Ratatouille.
I don't even know how to spell it to put it on my list. Yeah, we're gonna cut that. I haven't seen it.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a terrible person. Right, it's right up there with maybe I'll see that at like Derek's 40th birthday party, like I've seen Jaws.
That'd be a good double feature.
Let's go with number 4.
Number 4. The first 15 minutes may make you cry. It's the movie Up.
I'm terrible with my Pixar movies, and now that you tell me I'm going to cry, I might not want to. I'm not going to see it because
the opening of that movie is heartbreaking.
I don't need that. So yeah, let's cut that. I'd rather cry at the end when the little girl sees Kitty. At least I can go home and get in my car and just bawl out on the way home.
You'll get in an accident. You want to cry at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, that's fair.
And then eat your feelings with some popcorn.
Number 5.
Number 5. One of the early Pixar movies is A Bug's Life.
Well, I'll tell you what. I have to start keeping some of them. We'll keep A Bug's Life. I've never seen this though, but it's about a bug, so it's got to be cool, right?
And it's Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall is the voice.
Okay, so we worked our way up to the middle. Let's work our way down to the middle. Number 10.
Number 10. I have strong feelings about this one. It's The Incredibles.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna keep this one. You have strong feelings about it, good or bad?
It may be my favorite Pixar movie.
Really?
It's top 3 for me.
My brother-in-law dressed as Mr. Incredible for Halloween one year. He had like the big suit and the hair.
The tights are a very unforgiving look.
No, this is a cool one, and it's one of the more like the villain is so annoying you like seeing him get his comeuppance, and the baby's cute, you know. So
And
we'll skip that.
it's just fun, especially for if you like the whole superhero thing.
And Frozone. Where is my super suit? It's a kids movie, so you can't really. This is the only movie Samuel has been in that he hasn't used the F word.
Probably
because where is my super suit really just flows a lot better.
It really does.
Whatever. Let's go number 9.
Number 9. The fifth one opens this weekend, like we said, but it all started with Toy Story 1 in 1995.
I saw this late, and I actually saw this with Maria for the first time. But yeah, it's a really cool movie, and I know 3. Apparently, I haven't seen 3 yet because we're watching it with. I'm watching it with Maria. She just hasn't wanted to yet. I know 3 gets sad or whatever.
It does.
But I'll keep a Toy Story.
Okay.
So I get to keep one of the final 3 here. Maybe I shouldn't have kept A Bug's Life. Number 8.
Number 8. I'm not sure if you've seen this one. It's another tearjerker, though. Inside Out. With all the emotions.
Yeah. Give me a second here. I don't know if you can hear this.
I can, yeah.
This is you put this to a montage of your kids. God, forget about it. Yeah, we'll keep Inside Out. Inside Out was phenomenal.
All right.
And do I don't have them. I have them at school. Maybe the greatest casting of any voiceover was Lewis Black as Anger.
That is good. All the voices are really well cast.
Phyllis is Sadness.
Yeah.
I don't even know her name. She's Phyllis.
Phyllis Smith. Yeah.
No, but Lewis Black is almost the inspiration for the list. So, oh man, so it doesn't matter what I go with now, 6 or 7. They both get cut. So 7 is
Finding Nemo.
That's fine. I probably would have kept Finding Nemo over A Bug's Life, but that gets cut. 6.
Number 6 is Wall-E.
Wall-E.
Another one would have been a keep for me.
I hadn't seen Wall-E, so all this has showed me is I don't watch enough Pixar movies.
I think my keeps would have been The Incredibles, Toy Story. Boy, this is tough. Boy, Pixar really had a run.
Yeah.
Of fantastic stuff. I just know for sure, Cars can just pound sand.
That's right. You tell it.
Larry the Cable Guy. Get out of the TV.
All right, so here's the deal. Our last segment here, we usually do start, bench, cut, but I'm going to do something a little different here.
Okay.
You're going to have to start a bunch of players if you want, because you have your challenge here. It's kind of like a list. I saw this on TikTok, and I thought, man, I bet you Tim would be good at this. So first of all, I have to. We're going to do this fairly. So let me get online. We're going to share with you, and with the world, so you can see that this is fair. We're going to go to random.org, and we're going to get a number. Image generator. I want one number between 1,000 and 1,500. Right, that's fair.
Okay.
But Bing. So your magic number is 1,170.
Okay.
That's the magic number. You need to pick. It said 5, but honestly, you can pick as many up to 5. We'll say up to 5. 5 is your max.
Okay.
You need to pick 5 baseball players and get as close to 1,170 career home runs as you can without going over.
Okay.
So if you pick Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron, tough, you're way over. So don't do that.
I'll take.
So your first pick.
And do I get to know how many they've hit as they go?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, do you want to?
Whichever way you think is more entertaining.
Oh, I think let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I really think that you should know. I'll give you your running total as you go.
I'm gonna go Bryce Harper with my first pick because he's right around 350 something.
Bryce Harper, according to Baseball Reference, has a career 379 home runs. So you are at 379.
All right.
And your magic number again is 1,170.
All right. So there's one. So that leaves me with 791 left that I need.
791 left.
Give me Dwight Gooden.
I should make this does he have any? Because they don't have it listed here.
Dwight Gooden was a really good hitting pitcher. He might have like 30.
Standard pitching. Let me show us. They should have I mean, he was a National League pitcher.
Yeah, he absolutely hit home runs.
How many home runs? Good. It's going to say how many he gave up. Dwight Gooden hit exactly 2 regular season home runs in his major league career.
Okay, so I'm now at 789.
789. You were at 381. You need 789 more.
All right, give me Ozzie Smith.
This one should be easier to calculate on Baseball Reference. Ozzie Smith has a career 28 home runs.
So it takes me to 409.
You are at 409, yep, and you need 761.
Okay. And I've picked 3 players already?
Yes, sir. So 2 more.
Give me Dontrell Willis.
I think this is going to be another one I have to look up. Value pitching, advanced pitching, postseason pitching, standard batting. Oh, here we go. Dontrell Willis in 8 years has 9 home runs. So you're hunting for 752 now with the last one.
I was trying to get close to 755 to take Hank Aaron. So I don't want to go over, so I have to take Ruth.
Babe Ruth is 714. And that gets you 38. Can you, if I gave you one more player, can you find somebody with 38 or fewer?
How about Alvaro Espinoza?
That's a good pull. Alvaro Espinoza. Wow. Espinoza has 22. So if I gave you another one, you need 16.
How about Carlos? No, he was a shortstop. With the Yankees and Mets. Rafael Santana.
So how do you spell that? Rafael Santana. That's amazing. 13. There you go. If you can find somebody with 3 career home runs.
How about Madison Bumgarner?
Madison Bumgarner. You got to go down. Standard pitching, value pitching, advanced pitching, postseason pitching, standard batting. Oh my gosh, he crushed you. 19. He goes way over. But no, I mean, you got without those guys, you got within 38, which, I mean, so the reason I did the whole random number thing, I saw the video, it was like you're supposed to get as close as you can to 1,000.
Yeah.
And I honestly figured somebody like you might have already had like that number. Like I know the players to get to 1,000. So I mean, let's do the random number generator to make it a little bit tougher. And you pulled out Alvaro Espinoza. I haven't heard that name since. It's been a long time.
That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. So it was one on one, and I figured, well, it's not fair if I do it against you because I will I will study. But good time, man. 240. Another excellent show.
240 with a pee break built in.
How about that? So, did I miss anything this week?
No, we got the World Cup. We got the U.S. Open.
As we go, I will share with you. I did some cleaning here in the house, so some stuff went out in the shed, and I found some old comics. You remember Mask?
Oh yeah, the little plastic guys.
Mobile Armored Strike Command.
Yeah.
I found a bunch of these comics, and then if you bought like superheroes, like Hawkman or the Joker, they came with like these little comics, and then on the back, like you could send away for stuff. And then check this out. This is like the mother load.
Oh,
yes, yeah. I have 2 King Hiss books, but like old He-Man comics. And like I looked them up, like they're not super valuable on eBay, like you would think. This one though is the very first. This came with like the original He-Man, and look at the back. Like, look how old school the advertising is for this. Like,
yeah.
Cool stuff.
That's what I like about because sometimes I'll buy old comic books and I love looking at the ads in them for like sea monkeys and X-ray specs. And, yeah,
and they come with 800 numbers that we can call.
Yeah.
On our next show, because we don't have time for it this week. I didn't check there's 2 or 3 places I go for content, and like I didn't save. I didn't look at my phone this morning, but there are 4 phone numbers that everyone should know, according to this guy on TikTok. One of them is Hogwarts admission, so we should definitely call that next time.
Yeah.
The Tooth Fairy hotline is on here.
Okay.
There's a phone number you can outsource your friendship to India.
Oh, wait, am I being outsourced?
No. And there's the Better Call Saul hotline. So, like, I definitely thought we should call it the Hogwarts admission just to see how that worked out.
We could call the Better Call Saul hotline and see what legal advice they have, like if you steal letters from Januzzi's Pizza. I
was thinking maybe more for Brendan Sorsby, but yeah, sure. we can go that route. Why not? Next week, probably unlikely though, if you're following along at home. My cousin-in-law is getting married, so we'll be out in Pittsburgh, and I have a play testing event in Carlisle on Sunday. So Tim, if you're not doing anything, you want to play my football game, you can just drive to Carlisle. It'll be easy enough for you.
I was thinking when I was watching Phillies Mets yesterday, we should find if we want to go to a ball game this summer.
Let's look at their July schedule, because between Derek's work and my WBC vacation, it'd be good to get that on the calendar. So we'll see when they're home. Because I'm good during the week too. So it's really like your schedule. Let me know what might work for you.
I have a bunch of days off this summer, so I'll have to look at what days I have off. We can figure that out. We won't inflict our personal schedules on the viewer.
I'm just hit the button here. Boom.